scarier. I'm gonna help it.
Care Bear. I like
Scary.
that. Scary.
You have to say it, you know, scary, scary.
That's scarier.
You can be very scary sometimes. I'm sure you realize that.
Well,
In a good
that's
way.
how I felt around my first mentor. Matter of fact, my favorite birthday story is, you know, the new kids would always avoid Mel because he was very confrontational. You know, he'd call you and stuff, you know, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So if he was in the living room, people would walk through the dining room. If he was in the dining room, people would walk through the living room, you know what I mean? And one day I was finally like, I'm afraid of being scared, I'm just gonna go ahead and walk through the I don't care if he's there or not, you know?
Yeah.
So, and there's about 6 kids around him, and I start to walk through, and he goes, hey, Garrett, come here. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he goes, when's your birthday? And I, oh, okay, October 31st. And he goes, let me ask you a question. He goes, who really gives a shit? Right? And I just melted, and I realized why all the kids are hanging around, because they want to see the next victim. You know what I mean? Okay? Then a kid who's been around for about a year, Ray, walks up. He goes, hey, Ray, can I ask you a question? He goes, yeah. He goes, when's your birthday? Oh, August something or other. He goes, you know, Ray, who really gives a shit? And Ray didn't react. He just thought they looked. I do.
That's the answer he wanted?
That was the
Oh
point.
my gosh.
Then he
Oh, I
took
was-
us into his office and he talked about, you know, everybody's always polite and they wish you well and all, but you know,
Yeah, they don't really.
you're the one who cares.
Mhm.
And he told us about what he does on his birthday to take care of himself and to celebrate. And, you know, after I told Lori this story, she celebrates the whole month of February for her birthday. She, you know, all through February, she's telling people it's her birthday. You know?
Oh, I do that. Here's the-
Yeah,
I do that. All my friends know
Yeah.
that the one day that's the most important to me, that I don't feel bad, that I'm all about
Yeah.
me, is my birthday.
Yeah.
And I
Alice,
usually celebrate for the weekend.
let me know when you're ready,
I
honey.
like to take the whole month.
The
This is my
streaming,
birthday month, so.
the live,
birthday
I told you to let me know as soon as it's ready.
Like this past year was on Thanksgiving, and I even love it more because it's like, everybody's here for me. That's exactly how I look at it.
Yay.
Everyone's all about me.
Okay, now we're gonna talk about manifesting money. And by the way, I'll do this because when people sign up for the Awakening or Movement to Mastery, then it's, you know, they're nervous, where's the money gonna come from? But the truth is, what I'm gonna teach you actually works for everything in life that has to do with money. It's the same principles all the way across the board. First of all, money, like all things, is a function of intention. You will manifest the money for anything and everything that you truly intend. How much do you want the money for the thing that you want it for? So-so, or really a lot? If you want it so-so, it will never happen. No commitment, no manifesting. It stays a good idea, okay? When it really matters, it will happen. How do I know if you intend it to be on time?
You want them?
You were on time. You know what you intended by the result. That's a quote from Werner Erhard. Now, when it means enough to truly commit, you set a true intention. And when you do that, you can move mountains. I've seen every single awakening. There are half a dozen people who can't wait to tell us the miraculous stories of how the money just showed up out of the blue. Matter of fact, the way that this whole content I'm teaching you now came about was because in the early days of the awakening, during the first, second, and third or fourth awakening, I would have people who would see the slideshow and they would be, oh, I so want to do it. Then they'd come up to me and they'd go, look, I've got a lot of debts and I'm in a minimum wage job and I don't know, maybe if I save up, I can do it, you know, 3 or 4 years from now. You know what I mean? And then I'd see them at the registration table and I'd go, how'd you get the money? And the weirdest thing happened. My uncle died and left me all this money, you know what I mean? All these, well, after about a dozen of those stories, I got it. They're all doing something, you know? And then, of course, years after I did this content, the idea of the law of attraction started to become popular. Then, of course, the movie The Secret came out, and now it's everywhere, you know? But, you know, like Kevin Trudeau says, every billionaire on the planet has been through a secret society. Almost every billionaire, okay? And in the secret societies, like Skull and Bones and, what are the other secret societies? Like Masonics, you know, they all teach the law of attraction. Like they have, like the whole reason why Andrew Carnegie, when he was the richest man on earth, the whole reason he hired Napoleon Hill and had him spend 20 years interviewing and spending time with the richest people on the planet was because he wanted the world to know about the law of attraction. So Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. But Henry Ford, like most of the elite at that time, felt like the law of attraction should not be given to the common people. It was for the elite. You know what I mean? They actually believed that the common people didn't even have the right DNA. You know what I mean? So it's been suppressed forever. I mean, it's been around since, I think, the Babylonians and stuff, but it's been suppressed.
Jesus taught
Yeah.
prayer as in equal to law of attraction, which taught the true meaning of prayer, which was not to say, Father, may I, but it was Father, thank you, and then believing with your heart
Yeah.
that it's already existed
Right.
in the book of Thomas, but it was removed from the Bible, so
Yeah.
that, of course the master would take it. And then
Right.
quantum physics also says the exact same thing as well, so they all,
Of course.
they all correlate.
They all say the same thing.
People just want it for themselves.
Well, the rich did, and so Henry Ford used his influence to take the word vibration out of Think and Grow Rich. So for all these years, the bestseller book, Think and Grow Rich, which has never stopped being a seller, has been a watered-down, edited version of the original book. And now finally you can get the original book on the internet, you know what I mean? They have it, that has the word vibration in it back, and, you know, the original unedited version, okay? But like Kevin Trudeau says, it's like, every billionaire's been through those trainings, and what they teach is a more in-depth version of what I'm about to teach you now. So, okay. Leo, I'll use you as an example, because I know you'd like to be able to count on yourself to be able to manifest the money, right? Okay. By the way, I'm gonna do this with Leo, but you all can do it in your own mind. And it helps if you, while you're doing this, if you uncross your arms and your legs. Okay? So the energy flows through you properly. Okay, so play the game with me, Leo. I want you to imagine that in front of you is a house, is a table. And on the table is the deed to a house worth $1.5 million, okay? And next to it is cash worth $1 million, okay? Now I want you to make that real, and then tell me when you feel like you've made it real.
Absolutely have. Imagination's
Good,
up there.
good.
It's in there. It's on a glass table with a metal base. The room's got tan walls on the outside, hardwood floors. Fancy D with a fancy pen.
Okay, so which would you like more, the house or the cash?
Cash.
Okay, good. Now, if you can create the money for Movement to Mastery, you know, either all at once or completely make your payments on time every single time, okay? Then not one of those, but both of those will be yours. Now make that real. Okay, now let me ask you a question. knowing that you can get those two things as long as you manifest the money, the question is, could you do it? Could you manifest the
Yes.
money for that?
Yes.
Now, did you notice that there was no hesitation? Why was there no hesitation? Because he raised his level of intention. See, for $2.5 million worth of stuff, he's not gonna let whatever the payment is, or the upfront payment, if he wants to do that and save a bunch of money, he's not gonna let that stop him. He will do whatever it takes. See?
I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
I realize when you were talking about the briefcase with $50,000, that it takes courage to raise your level of intention.
Yes.
And why is that? Is it because your personal power doesn't allow you to go to raise it? Because your
Ultimate-
feelings and thoughts are.
Yes, ultimately it's because you're afraid of success. Interimly, it's because you're afraid that you don't have what it takes to do it. And even in addition to that, you're afraid to say it out loud to everyone that you know, because you're afraid that if you fail and they all know that you failed, you'll look bad. Now, if Spirit wanted to help Leo out, could Spirit help Leo manifest the money?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing Spirit can't do, right? So here's the question: how do you get Leo? How do you get Spirit to lend a hand?
Play at 100%.
That's right. Because when people join that class I do every April on manifesting money, you know, we meet for, I think, an hour and 15 minutes every, I can't remember, Monday or Tuesday or something. And I'll always get 8 to 12 people in the class, and every year I have between a fourth or sometimes up to a half of them manifest the money for the awakening out of the blue. I mean, miracles, unbelievable stuff. Okay? And about the second or third session, when they don't know where the hell the money's gonna come from, I'll say, okay, today we're gonna find out who's gonna be in the awakening. And none of them know where it's gonna come from. And I'll say, okay, like I remember the year Zen was in that class, I said, Zen, are you gonna be in the awakening? Now remember, none of them know where the money's gonna come from. It looks impossible. And she just said, like Leo just said, yes. And I said, she's gonna be in the awakening. Then I went to Nikki, I said, Nikki, are you gonna be in the awakening? And she did what most human beings did. She goes, well, I really wanna be there. I said, nope, she's not gonna be there. She didn't have a true intention. Well, yeah, but you ain't going. You expect the money to manifest when you're not giving it 100%? That's like Moses standing at the Red Sea going, now as soon as that water starts to part just a little bit, I will commit and I will dive in. Right? You don't commit and dive in, the Spirit doesn't care. If you, now when they're in that class, they have to text somebody every day. They have to say, did it, and a number. Now, did it is a list of things that they're gonna do to get their intention up. Like they have to do that visualization I just did with you twice a day, you know? And then they have to do certain things to actually act on their intention. Like they have to have a strategy and they have to act on it at 100%. But when they say did it and a number, the number is how much did I wholeheartedly act on my intention? Like, remember I told you I've had people do some really stupid strategies, right? I'm gonna stand in front of Kmart and ask everybody for $1. You know, like that's gonna manifest, you know, $7,000 for the awakening or whatever. You know what I mean? And I swear, as long as they do that strategy at 100, when they text like 5 to 7 days in a row, 100%, the money shows up. If they do 100, 95, 100, 95, money doesn't show up. 100, 100, 100, 100, money shows up. Out of the blue. Spirit doesn't care what your strategy is. Spirit cares that you have faith. That you have enough courage to have faith and to act on faith. Last awakening, I think it was Ray, who had absolutely no idea where the money was going to come from. He did a GoFundMe thing, whatever that is, and couldn't believe that people he would never believe would donate him $500 and $200, you know. So when you act at 100%, Spirit can lend a hand. I'll just give you a couple of stories. I remember Greg said, I really want to do it, but my business has been down lately, and I would need a contract just to pay for my bills. And I'd need another contract at least to be able to do the awakening. And I said, well, Greg, if you don't have a really great intention for why you would have contracts, you're not going to get any contracts. You got to be kidding. You need a really good reason. Okay, I'm going to do it, right? And in order to do it, you got to put your money down. You got to put a deposit down. Okay, it doesn't work subconsciously to say, okay, I'll do it, but I don't want to put a deposit down until that. No, it's not that way. Okay. So you put a deposit down, and I can't remember how much later, but he came back to me and goes, oh my God, I got 3 contracts. You know, and I love Holly Evans, Michelle's friend, okay, because she didn't have enough for the deposit for the awakening. So she put everything she had in the bank until the next Friday, like some weird number, $272.32. Something, you know, I thought was cute. And then every week she would send us little bits of money, right? And then usually about a month before the awakening is when people freak out, right? Ooh. Their soul is saying, you're gonna fly. And their will is going, you're gonna die. Everybody's gonna know how screwed up you are. So they always call me up and go, oh, I can't get the money, you know. And so I always tell them the same thing. I say, Holly, look, whatever you do, do not pull out your intention. Look, think of intention as a little invisible antenna. If your commitment and your intention is in, your antenna is up. That means everything in the universe can find you that can support you. You take your intention out, there's no antenna. Even if it could find you, it can't find you. I said, Holly, keep your antenna up. Your intention in. She called me a little while later and she goes, and they always say, how did you do that? And I go, I didn't do anything. What happened? She goes, I got a class action suit check that I completely forgot I was part of this class action suit, but here's what's weird. You know how I've been sending you money and, you know, and I'm short this amount, okay? The check was for the exact amount I need for the awakening to the penny.
Wow.
To the penny. Coincidence. Pam Blatt said, I want to do the awakening, but, you know, I was in a polygamous community and I just moved out and I don't have a job and I, you know, and so she said this to my mom and my mom said, Pam, you're going to let money stop you from the awakening? Give me a break. So let's brainstorm. What do you know how to do? And she goes, well, I know how to do herbal wraps. She goes, great, herbal wraps. On a cruise ship, they cost $100. Let's call all the awakening grads up and we'll charge $50, right? And within, I don't know, a month or something, she had all the money. It was great. My favorite story is Barbara Anderson. I love this story. I love spiritual, mystical stuff. So Barbara Anderson is working with me one-on-one. I'm not going to do I don't want groups. I just want to work with you one-on-one. Okay, good. So eventually she goes, okay, I'll do the awakening. Just got divorced, first time in the workforce, tons of debt, and I taught her how to deal with the debt so she would feel good about investing in herself again. There's actually a way to do that, even if you got tons of debt, okay? So taught her how to do that, and then she calls me up like a few weeks before the awakening and goes, I've worked out everything in my finances, I'm gonna be $400 short. I said, well, whatever you do, don't pull out your intention, or nothing can find you. Keep your commitment in. She calls me up a little while later and she goes, Gary, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. She goes, a friend of mine called me up one day and said, Barbara, I know we haven't talked in 8 years, but I was meditating the other day on how I could make my marriage work. And a voice said to me, give your inheritance to Barbara Taylor and the marriage will work. I'm calling you to let you know I want to give you my inheritance. Now, Barbara Taylor, whose jaw is dropped, says, I don't want your inheritance, I just want to borrow $400. Right? Take the inheritance. Now, every awakening I have half a dozen stories like that. Really weird stuff.
Did you take the inheritance or not?
No, she just borrowed the $400.
I just had to know the end of the story.
I had an 18-year-old kid who literally went to every bank from Provo to Ogden, told him how he wanted to get to the awakening, and he had a treasure chest in his trunk. And he wanted them to donate their gold dollars so he could bring me a treasure chest. You probably weren't around when Stephen Brown was around. Stephen Brown was an indigo child, you know what I mean? Like 180 IQ.
Is he the guy that can sleep?
He could sleep on a book and then he'd know the test, you know, he wouldn't study and then he'd just sleep on the book and then he'd just get straight A's, you know, like that.
What's an indigo child?
If you
First wave of Rainbow
Google
Warriors.
indigo childs are a new level of human being, a new evolutionary thing. Started in the 40s, big in the 60s. Now pretty much every kid is either indigo or crystal child.
That's the next generation after indigos. They're born to indigo parents. But indigo is another
Yeah.
word for starseed or.
Well,
Rainbow Warriors.
I think I'm a crystal and I wasn't born to indigo parents, but my son Eli was an indigo. Like, you know indigos because if they get upset, like Eli could walk down the street and the street lights would go out. You know what I mean? I was telling this story one time at Green Street and the kid behind me tapped me on the shoulder and goes, I overheard your story. He goes, that happens to me when I walk down the street. You know, I said, well, you're probably an indigo. You know, just Google it. You know?
Fascinating things happen with me too.
Yeah, and they have trouble wearing digital watches because they fritz them out, or like, you know, like I know certain people, like, if I have friends of mine who when they get upset, they will fritz out your computer, all your electronic stuff.
I always have trouble with computers. I mean,
Yeah.
like someone will say, and I would be at work and stupid thing won't work and it won't work, and then somebody will come up. I was like, it's not doing it. Well, did you do this? And I did it 4 times, it did not work.
Yeah.
They come up, then they do it, boom, it works.
It
I
works.
go, I'm telling you, it's the energy.
Yeah.
My energy against this is not working. People laugh at me, but I really thought it was, but it's different computers. It's not
Yeah.
always the same one.
Oh, there's a famous story about the professor who was like that, and eventually his students, because they were on a really important research project, he came in, and if anything started to fritz, they'd kick him out of the office, because he could fritz everything that was in the research lab. You know what I mean?
Sonia, my mentor, told me that she had extensions in her hair, you know, they have like the metal ones. And she said that she burned all of them off, burned all of her hair off. She
Yeah.
had to get her hair cut.
Yeah.
Because she fried the metal pieces and,
Right.
isn't that insane?
Well, it's nice to have an explanation as to why this weird stuff happens.
You can Google it. There's a zillion websites on indigo children now.
Especially YouTube.
Yeah. I think the first person to talk about indigo children was that channeler, I can't remember her name. It was somebody who wrote a book and included.
No, there's somebody else though too. Jordan Pritchard wrote a book on that. Somebody else.
Okay.
When the first wave of prophesized rainbow warriors from the Native Americans,
Yeah,
also known as light workers too, it's anonymous.
yeah. I like the Ancient Aliens video on what they call star children,
Mhm.
you know? That's a great one. I showed that to Derek to show him there's a lot of other kids that are like him.
I know my origin, it's amazing, you know,
Yeah.
it's super empowering.
Yeah. Okay, everybody, get a partner and share with your partner what I just taught you about manifesting money.
As long as you set your intention, that's why I wrote it as play, not just do it. It's spirit, absolutely. Most important, does not care how.
I wanted to do it Friday, I'm pulling it ahead.
Color coordinated.
Yes, of course.
When I absolutely needed
feel
to
free to
wear
join
it,
me.
I got
On my
some
own.
Sundays for, I didn't share, so I told me no.
Ooh, you look so cute.
Came for the good
Cute.
cause.
Oh my,
She always
I
has-
love that.
She always has that look, and I was like,
The other day she's a snow leopard, and
I just like realized like, oh yeah, they're only fun.
wild
Just
and bright.
get, you know,
Hey, was your shower up?
Like there's work.
How'd it go?
Great.
and I,
Like, we can't
Where I
imagine
go through it and then also have.
how good it can get.
Manifesting money.
Because we don't deserve it, how good it can get,
She
you
would
know?
like to do this
I
too.
could block it.
You
So
can't
what'd you
do
do?
that, I
When
don't
you just started?
get that, you know?
Okay, just like, no, it's happening.
Like, there's not,
Spend it all.
when you really believe that you deserve it and you can get it and you want it.
You know, like, what? You
And
know?
there is no,
So it's like,
July
oh,
was
it's
not-
like, checks in the mail, it's like,
to
no.
get it.
Right?
So like,
You telling me
it's
what you
important.
did? What you did with the others?
I know, I was like,
You have to admit.
yeah, this is.
There was an experience where she was living in a place that was like $1,000 a month.
Same way too.
We're supposed to do the same thing?
Drop more involved, drop that fear and then higher perspective.
And if you, and then when that wasn't working for him anymore, she literally went and moved into
You
the
see,
other
it's
side.
like, totally different. And then like as soon as you lose that construct, that pre-programmed one.
Make it real.
Who knows the real,
There's
real
no
world?
question
Like,
about
no,
it.
no, the real world, my friend, is far more dynamic.
That's before.
And real than you ever.
No doubt, there's no fear, it's just.
Like me now, especially with psych. There's absolute increase in spirit. Every freaking year.
Okay,
The hologram,
Yeah.
the thermometer.
once you get in line with that, boom, brilliant. It's like cheat code.
okay, boys and girls. I'm gonna teach you about a new paradigm for satisfaction. Who knows what the word paradigm means?
I've got 2 dimes in my pocket.
Separate, is it perspective, paradigm is like, paradigm is like a perspective shift?
Well, a paradigm is
Lens.
the way that they hold reality. The shift is when you shift a paradigm.
Right, right. So just
The most
one
famous
perspective,
paradigm
yeah.
of all time was the earth is flat. Like everybody knew that, just go look at the evidence, right? And then at some point, the paradigm shifted and they got that the earth was round. And so that's a huge paradigm shift, okay? Well, I'm gonna give you a new paradigm for satisfaction, okay? For the fact that you are the creator of your reality. In essence, what you think is your reality is nothing but a story. Every time you go through healing or transformation, all you're doing is changing the story, that's it. Because it's all a story. Life is completely meaningless. It has no meaning. You create the meaning. Life is like a blank screen. You create what's on the screen. It doesn't matter what happens around you, you interpret it, you create it. So, You know, there are people on our planet that if you were to tell them that there's a new invention called literacy, reading and writing, and you told them that I could learn a new way to farm my land, and I could send it, like I could send Leo 500 miles with a piece of paper that I write down a new way to farm my land, and I could send him 500 miles away and give the paper to Danielle, and without me ever talking to Danielle, she could learn this new way from farming the land by just reading the paper. And there are people on our planet that if I told them that, they would look at you like, you've been hitting the sauce again, haven't you? And it's worse than the fact that they don't know how to read and write. It's that they don't even have a paradigm that allows that to be true. Now I'm going to tell you about some other people. There are people on our planet who don't yet know that when it's 3 a.m. in the morning and they've been up all night and they've got to get up at 5 and their elbows are in the grease and their boss is yelling at them to do it right and they're doing it wrong, that at that exact moment they have the power to be 100% satisfied. I love that.
Really Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger runs 11 miles every night he does a concert. You know how I knew that my generation would never get old? I was 9 years old and I was watching Mick Jagger on TV and I got, he will never get old. And I went, oh, my generation will never get old. I got it when I was 9.
And they haven't.
Huh?
They haven't. Everyone I know that's around your age.
Right. That's right.
Not one of them.
Although it was fascinating to go back to my reunion, I can't remember what year it was, something big reunion, my high school. Me and Ron and Steve, and I can't remember the other guy, there was like 4 or 5 of us that were still young. And everybody else looked dead. So, can you imagine there are still people on our planet who don't yet know that when their car breaks down and the mechanic says, boy, did you get lucky, you need a new engine. And they look in their checkbook and they realize they were off by 1 0. Ah! Right? That at that exact moment, with all that going on, that they still have the power to create being 100% filled to the brim satisfied. Can you imagine there are still people on our planet that don't yet know this? Unbelievable.
That's a personal story.
Yeah, all these examples came from my personal experience. Can you imagine, including this next one, that if the love of your life walks out after years of being together, and you're so emotional that you're afraid to go to the grocery store for fear that you'll burst into tears, that at that exact moment, with all those feelings going on, you still have the power to create being 100% satisfied. Can you imagine there are still people on our planet that don't yet know this? Hard to believe, isn't it? You might have even bumped into one of these people, you know, like in the mirror. That's because in our culture, we believe that life depends on the circumstances, that that satisfaction or happiness or fulfillment has anything to do with feelings. It has nothing to do with feelings. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. Satisfaction is something that you create. So, I'm going to give you a chance to have an experience of this. Now, you got 2 choices. You can either have an understanding, like right now, you all shaking your heads like you understand what I'm saying. But as Warren Earhart would say, understanding is the booby prize. I'm going to give you an opportunity to have an experience of it. Not just an understanding, but an experience of it, okay? So in order to have an experience of this, you got to make 3 decisions. You got to decide that when I give you the instructions and I say go, you're going to do it instantly without hesitation.
Oh, yes.
If you hesitate, you're gonna miss the barn by miles. So you gotta decide now that when I say go, you're gonna do it instantly, and you gotta do it wholeheartedly. You gotta do it at 100%. You got it?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, no, he's pulling out the whistle.
The whistle's back.
Scary.
Thank you. Scary is so scary. Okay. When I say go, I want you to create, no matter what's going on in your Wilbur, like even if you're tired, even if you wish you were in a hot tub with a martini, you know what I mean? No matter what's going on in your Wilbur, I want you to create a demonstration of 1000% enthusiasm. Go! How about you?
Good job, crowd.
I think I hit the ceiling.
Now enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Now, close your eyes for a second. Now, just notice that if you did that at 100%, you actually feel satisfied. Anytime you hit the mark, you go the distance, you ring the bell. Remember, play is anything you do at 100%.
You're gonna have a heart attack.
Do me a favor, don't die on us, okay? That would be
Yeah.
bad. That would be very bad.
100% heart attack though.
I know
Don't have
CPR.
one of those in, like,
We were having a lot of fun in the workshop, and then she just. I used to have a friend, but she don't move no more.
She died of enthusiasm. Oh, she was too enthusiastic.
She died of enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm
That's a good way to
is
go.
akin to satisfaction, but it's not the same as enthusiasm, so I'm gonna show you, it doesn't matter what you create, it only matters that you create. So, I want you to create a demonstration of 100% disgust. Go.
I can't believe you would do that! I didn't hit the ceiling this.
Had to cut that short, some of you look like you were about to vomit.
That was disgusting. I was like,
One would start vomiting, then the rest of us.
That's that sucked.
Okay, when I say go, I want you to create a demonstration of 100% barking like a chicken. Go.
Chicken heads.
I just throw that one in for my own entertainment.
There's nothing there in the workshop.
Wow.
Just wanted to have it on live stream.
That's funny.
I didn't get to see you do it.
Oh,
For
this is a
the,
good one.
for the last demonstration, I want you to walk, don't run, briskly across the room, and with anybody, including Alice, I want you to demonstrate 100% unreasonable love. Go.
Oh my God.
I love you so much. I love you. Lovely love. Lovely love.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, lovely love.
It's you.
Okay.
It'd be reasonable to sit down when you blow that whistle, but
Yeah, well, she came up.
Enough of this touchy-feely crap.
Oh, whatever.
you're taking my whistle and I'm going home.
Bark like chickens again.
Now, I don't want you to take this as a sweet experience, a nice, pleasant, happy experience. I don't want you to believe me at all. I want you to test me. This week, you never know, there may be one or two things that don't fit your pictures.
One or two.
Oh.
You might get a flat tire, Something may not fit your pictures. I want you to wait like a hunter. And I want you to prove to yourself that when things don't fit your pictures, you have the power to create. As I've said before, I use these examples because after I had learned this principle, the love of my life left. My engine broke down and needed a new engine. I'd made a mistake in my accounting, right? And so I tested it. I generated some enthusiasm, just in case it would help me. And then I noticed it changed my state. And so as I was looking through the yellow pages for how I could get an engine for less money, I realized that it changed my state. So it didn't change the fact that I needed a new engine, it changed who I brought to the task of getting a new engine. And since the law of attraction is completely based on your vibration, do you want to attract the worst people who can screw you over on an engine, or do you want to attract the best people who may give you a surprisingly good deal and actually maybe even, oh, I have an engine and the thing, I can just give it to you? What do you want to attract?
The best.
Don't believe me. Test me. Prove it to yourself. Wait like a hunter. And when life doesn't fit your pictures, it doesn't matter what you generate. Generate some enthusiasm, generate some disgust, bark like a chicken. You know, when Kevin Millay was becoming an international superstar, he came up for my birthday, and we went out to dinner with some people, and I said, so Kevin, what do you believe is the what do you believe are the most powerful things that you're doing daily that have helped you to catapult your success? He said 2 things. If I have any issues with anybody, I do the thing you taught me, and I add Ho'oponopono to it, where I send them a color of light that says love. And I do Ho'oponopono. For those of you who don't know what that is, ask somebody and they'll tell you. He was doing the self-identity version of Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Okay? And he said the second thing is, every morning when I wake up, I take the stepping into God self exercise that you did with us in Magical Realms, and I do it in the mirror every morning. He steps into his God self every single day because it lifts his vibration to where he can attract the best stuff. Not a bad idea.
Not at all.
Even Tony Robbins talks about how if you do certain things in your first hour, he calls it the hour of power. You know, you can change your life by just doing the right things every day to get going, to get started. Okay, now, I'm going to give you a short break, just long enough for them to put the 2 strips of blue tape on the floor, and we're going to do the 100% Olympics. Okay? And believe me, go ahead. Yeah, take all your stuff out of the room so we can set the chairs up. And Sue, don't worry about it if you haven't done it before. It'll be obvious. You'll see
Oh,
what.
I'm not gonna worry, I'll follow.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, that's fine. And the rest of you, if you've done it before, it means you have an advantage. You will do it better every single time you do it, so that's good news. Take all your stuff out of the room. Go.
But you'll still explain.
Oh, yeah, I'll explain in detail.
It's yours.
Keep in mind.
Keep in mind, if I hear it out, it gets so.
Elisa, do me a favor.
It's all like 5
Call,
minutes.
start 15 minutes now.
How long?
15.
Scared the crap out of me. I don't know, wall? Excuse me, sorry. So,
Alice, you were right and I was wrong.
yeah,
Roommates today, so he had to finish doing whatever he needs to do.
Depending on what they sign up for.
yeah.
So just let them know.
I thought she was.
No, I talked about that to you in the room. I said, oh, I remember what it is. They get a payment off.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh, yeah, but it happens on Friday, not on Saturday.
I got it. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it happened on Saturday
So,
too.
yeah, we hold this right there.
And,
But I can proudly say I'm a mess-making machine.
But you wanna know how good it feels? Because guess what I just realized?
What?
I've been trying to make the new rhymes by changing the old person.
Yeah.
And I just got it, that it's me that needs to change.
Yeah.
So it was good to hear you say I was right and you were wrong.
Well, the way to do it is like this. Who was right? I was right. Who was wrong?
Your help.
You were wrong.
Oh, so cute. Yeah, it's about to get good. It's been good all along, but
number 2?
it's right there on that line. It's like, I don't think it's that far away. See the line? Yeah.
Good job. Uh-oh.
Look at you drawing boundaries. And look at me dropping the ball.
And since there's only 4 people on each team, you can have the chairs kind of back, yeah, like that.
And it had,
Yeah, that way they'll step forward.
with a little ball in it, and it had little goodies that were cleats, and it was so cute, they're white and blue. And then she had a sign that said concessions.
How cute.
Yes.
Oh, I know, everybody said something today about that. Today is the first day this is really pleasant. First day.
Oh yeah, she walked in. All sexy Sue.
I just, well, because I was dressed nice and my hair got washed.
And her eyes,
I did
her
makeup.
makeup.
They're all like, Sue, Sue.
Blowing them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, was
It
that
wasn't just, no,
Oh.
I mean, you looked beautiful.
Wait, so how are we gonna do this? What do you mean?
Oh, who's this one
Only
there?
like 4 people.
His name's Jeremy Burt.
What team's he on?
I don't know. It's only like 5 people.
He was in California, somewhere in California.
Oh, he was, or he
He
still is?
was, and now he's a
Oh, do you
professional
know?
coach here.
No. I need you to take a break so you can get your energy
I
back.
was
You're gonna
doing
need it.
Real estate.
I've done this.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
you're gonna need
Okay.
it.
Their friends are taking out that, I was there.
Okay.
I borrowed
So
the
is this
chair
their
with
first? How long have they been, oh, this is one struggling to get. So far, what'd you do?
March 21st.
Oh, that's my son's birthday, Christopher's.
She's diabetic.
Keep us.
So the baby's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe me.
She's been having taken some military shots.
And then maybe we'll go to Wait, is she diabetic or is she, pregnancy diabetes? Oh, she's pregnancy diabetes, oh, so that, Tuesday. So, interesting.
what?
Black
So,
Mountain.
did she get a lot of nice cute things?
Black Mountain.
Right now? Yeah, I ordered those sticky socks, did I tell you? No, I ordered the sticky socks. When they do, I'll let you know.
I'm sorry. Sticky stacks?
Socks. I don't wanna smell them. Socks.
That's worse.
Socks. first of all, she just got married Monday.
I know. Yeah. Congratulations.
Just bought a house.
And then, there's babies, there's babies, there's socks and babies, they wiggle their toes, they move their feet, and they wiggle their socks on.
Yeah.
And then you have to lose over this one.
Yeah.
So this person saw it on Shark Tank, they have these socks, they will not come off unless you take them off.
Oh, that's awesome.
They won't come off. So I ordered, they sell them for 3 pairs. I'm gonna buy a baby, so I ordered them finally, and, waiting for them to come in the mail. And they have little, it's not like stick-on things, they're like, maybe I'm getting them severed, like rubber, so they kind of stay and see it, you know, and then, so I thought I'd show them to Dana, she wants to get one too. They're not called sticky socks, they're called socks. S-O-C-K-S. Just like saying, S-O-C-K-S. Socks. She just got married, so.
Oh, yeah, that's all that's on my mind. Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're called octopus socks or something like that, but they're squid socks. They're called squid socks.
Oh, cute.
So,
I'll show you the stash.
I'll show you this too. So anyway, yeah. So, got that.
But Dana's house is all beautiful. No one even went upstairs. I spent a
I
lot
told
of time
you.
cleaning.
Didn't go for nothing.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Her whole house looks great.
Good. I had 2 job interviews next week. Because, well, one's a receptionist job, $50 an hour. Didn't want to, oh, I don't know the second one's coming today, I just still said. It's temporary, it's one of those temporary jobs. No, they have a project. I'm working with them, you know, like, people that run child care centers. And the guy was obnoxious. So, you know, what did my daughter say? He goes, well, do you think you're gonna take the job? If they offer to, will you take the job? I don't know. Here's what, do you think you will? And I go, do you buy a house before you see it? And he goes, well, I can't take the job till I know what it entails. I might talk to them, see what it is involved. No, by that, by that point, I was probably. It is a question, and answer, not the other questions. I haven't understood that. I could possibly. Well, at first it did say something like, well, if it works out, you know, it's. Oh, I said something, what you said first. Well, if it, you know, if all the things are right, it works out, you know. And he kept pushing me, and that's when I said, how I was paying for his years. Do that. When you're answering the same question 4 times, like, saying what you say, different ways, nicely. That would be worse.
Should we have 3 against 3? Because I kind of feel like I should maybe.
No, it's not 4 against 3, it's 4 against 4, I'll just be standing. I'll be right here. She's gonna be the record.
You got, well, we got, but I think we got 2, 4.
Yeah, but I did do that first, like 3 times. I just keep saying.
Because you gotta do this. And then when it's your turn to go on. Deal? Gosh. I know, I've tried the trick.
Reverse what you say, I'm sorry.
Does it work for you?
It made me feel better. And then I got the t-shirt.
No, do this, as soon as Gary walks out the door, call 1 minute.
ask them. Like,
So,
what say this is
That wasn't what I'm saying. That
It's not, it's cracking, it looks like.
what did you say,
I'm just saying that any of them
I love it, but let's call it.
like that, but I thought.
5 minutes.
I'll let you by email,
but there's no business
and I will call
She
you.
said
I'm just
if,
saying, I'm just saying any way
They
that
find someone to join my class, like, that was the conversation.
huh? No, Lori, sorry about Lori.
And so she said, if we're watching
Signs that.
I'm gonna ask, like, consultation. Something to her.
But I told you, you already tried to the painter.
I don't know exactly, I remember, but I don't know exactly what she
I
said.
told you, you already tried to the painter.
Awesome.
You told us what?
Because I just watched stuff, like, I have to watch this happen, like, she had a baby going, and they had to do a conversation.
Yeah.
There's a chat on the side, but there's also the ability to talk about
They
things.
could ask any workshop, she's like,
That's what I was.
she's like, ask that, I get an hour, is that what it is?
I really needed that yesterday class.
I think that would be so much more beneficial than just about.
I'll give you
I have
her.
no idea.
It was so kind last night. I wasn't really going to dinner last night because I just tried to tell her.
No.
Use my higher power and to say to myself that that's about,
And we'll feed it in like live stream. I know there's a possibility. Yeah. But I know it's gonna
because I wanted to be more with that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I was so
I'm,
great.
okay, if I understand, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I was
So, is that okay?
And then,
just a minute.
Do you have to have the chair? Or
Oh, I got it,
I
I
can
got
be
it.
standing?
Yeah, she'll participate. She participates on the.
Gary,
Oh, no, we share.
yes, you split it. Yeah. So, did you know our arrangement?
Yeah.
The first I ever did so.
But I definitely wanna make this.
But who was out?
Stand by me. It's not just that. Oh.
It would be, yeah, it would be good to have your, I feel like that's.
It's all flaky, it's itchy, and I'm thinking it's an allergy. Yeah, but, I started using a different conditioner, and I'm wondering if that, so I'm gonna stop using it and go back to what I thought and see if it changes. I just feel like it's, allergy,
And then
it just
I
came
want-
on. Was that, or I ate a lot of
Do you
it?
get allergies to
You know how usually, I mean, I remember twice. When I was a little kid in elementary school. Oh my God, I was just red welts, my mom changed our detergent. That might have been, remember they saved it. And the other thing, it must have been 6 or 7.
Now that
In school, I was. And I am allergic to like dusty molds, like you go in the attic and start cleaning stuff, I just go crazy.
where I thought.
I don't know if there's no.
But it was specifically created for that company. But I want to get some chairs. I want to
Feels.
I want to be able to look at you. Some of the shoulders are.
I did. Okay, so I used these 2 different
sunset blue, which is really good.
But I use head and shoulder, no, I use Dove for dandruff, because it's more mild, and that wasn't working.
So I wanted to
And,
be
but
where
I
she-
need to stop using, I was using the Aussie conditioner, because my roommate's like, didn't want to stop, but they're super curly hair, she's black, so her hair is definitely, whatever. So she was, use this stuff, it's the best.
So that I can.
And I keep getting it.
Time.
Oh.
Oh, I just
What?
continue to.
Time.
You didn't do the 1 minute?
And then you
She did.
just swear off of it and see if it goes away. Does it feel the allergy itch?
Okay, how much time is left?
That's time.
Are you called time? Okay, everybody have a seat.
Oh, right.
Oh, me.
God.
Me.
He wanted to sit by me so bad.
So bad.
That's
So
so
bad.
cute.
Good, because
Well,
I.
I know what this is, and I figure we'll
Elisa?
balance it a little
Yeah.
bit. And then you can do the music.
I wanna
from
see
Alex.
Di do
It's still a little
She's gonna-
uneven, I got me and her, so,
That makes sense.
sorry guys.
Declaration.
We need like a handicap thing, like, you know, in golf.
It's okay, it's all right.
Yeah, kind of.
If you're scared, it's okay.
We got
though.
it covered.
It's okay.
Kind of powerful.
I have
Okay.
no idea what we're doing.
So-
but we got
Is
it
Alice
covered.
gonna be on our team?
Yep,
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
Do you the
In essence, what's gonna happen is, somebody will stand up,
She's doing music.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
she'll
We got it all figured.
she'll stand up and participate when
Yeah,
it's her
We'll
time,
replace.
okay?
Okay.
We got this.
So, somebody will stand up on this side, somebody will stand up on that side. There's gonna be a friendly competition. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna call out a declaration. For about 10 seconds, they're both gonna yell as loud as they can their declaration, and I'll explain in a minute why. And the team is gonna cheer them on from behind them, okay? So, let me remind you of a couple of things. Remember that the goal of these exercises is to stretch your own limits, to see if you can allow yourself to discover what it means to go 100%, to hit the mark, to ring the bell. As childlike as this may seem, this exercise is designed to affect you on a physical and a subconscious level. Some of you will get a lot, some of you will fly to the stars. Any intention that you anchor in at 100% has the best odds of manifesting because you anchor it in deeply on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Okay? As Fritz Perls, the founder of Gestalt Therapy, said, anytime you give the organism a chance to operate at 100%, it is curative. So, you'll come up there and you give me your best version of a declaration, and then I'll help you polish it. And the declaration will go something like this. I'm already, and whatever strength you have. I'm already intelligent, I'm already perceptive, whatever. And as of today, I, and then you fill it in with what you think is the behavior that would most further your action. So for example, as of today, I speak up. As of today, I honor my truth. As of today, I show up and shine. As of today, I say no until I'm centered. I take a stand. I take charge. I draw my boundaries. I open my heart. I express myself. I connect. I slow down. I take risks. See, they're all behaviors.
Mhm.
Okay? And don't worry if you're not sure on which to do, because I'll help you when you get up there. Okay? Good. Okay. Everybody got it? And then after I blow the whistle, you'll have about 10 seconds. Then I'll blow the whistle again. Everybody helps me quiet down. Okay? We'll acknowledge you and I'll take some shares. Okay. So, who wants to go first over here? Okay, who wants to take on Leo?
Whoa,
God,
the
Trent,
masculine energies.
Dance battle.
What's that?
It's like this, bro.
That's what
Oh, I don't
Derek
need to get
loves
up
to
yet.
do.
Oh, wait.
Okay, let me have your declaration.
I am Leo the Lion.
I'm already
Oh.
a strength or gift or talent. I'm already what?
I'm already strength.
Is that your strength that you want to use? Strength? I'm just checking.
Yeah, or my strength that I'd like to use would be I'm already environment changing. Or,
Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
I'm
environment
already
changing,
environment
like
changing.
vibrational lifting,
Okay,
impactful, something like that.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Any one of those, but just pick one.
I'm already impactful.
Good. And as of today, I and a behavior.
As of today, I will put myself first every time and shine.
Okay, just take the word will out of it. As of today, I put myself first.
As of
every
today, I put myself first and shine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay,
I'm already caring,
yeah,
and as of today, I take charge and inspire.
works.
I'm already caring, and as of today, I take charge and I inspire. I'm already caring, and as of today, I take charge and I inspire. I'm already caring, and as of today,
Have a seat.
Wait, to go.
You are worthy opponent for.
You didn't know it.
I just played this song.
No, we have to, yeah, we repeat
Yes.
it
You
over
just
and over.
repeat it over and over?
I get to
Okay.
Yep, and then our
we are
team
the champions.
supports
Play
us.
something else.
Yep.
Hey, go take my chair.
Jerks.
So the music came on after.
And so you do, no, it was just starting softly and then it came
Oh.
loud.
We were the music.
It was a Linkin
We
Park
just drowned
song.
it out.
That was
So just do a new
ridiculous.
song every time, okay? Trent? Yeah.
New song every time.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'll take some shares. Anything you noticed or discovered watching that? Okay, Elisa?
I just got how when we're cheering for them, we're cheering for ourselves and all the whole world too.
Absolutely. One of my favorite quotes by Richard Courier is, when you stop fighting against the rest of the world and start fighting solely for yourself, you've begun to fight for all of civilization and all of mankind. Good job. Way to go. Any other shares? Let's acknowledge. Elisa. Okay. Any other shares?
I just felt the statements they made just illuminated and full of energy
Yeah,
to the rest of us.
that's right. That's right. Good job. Acknowledge. Okay, who wants to go first over here? Come on up, Danielle.
It's
Who
the
wants?
girlies.
Okay,
Oh,
Zola.
snap.
Okay, give me a declaration. I'm all ready.
I'm already committed,
Good. And as of today,
and as
I-
of today, I am living my truth.
I live my truth.
I live my truth.
Good. And you know that that means, give me some examples, like speak your truth, draw your boundaries, say no, ask
Yeah.
for what you want, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. As long as you know what it means, then it works. Okay, go ahead, Zola.
I already know my truth. As of today, I start speaking out.
It works. Good job. Acknowledge them.
Thank you. The music has a mind of its own today.
Great. What do you notice, Zola?
When you show up at 100% spirit, it's there even though you're not showing up at 100%. Like they're screaming and it's great, but when you show up at 100%, you can feel it. And when they show up at 100%, you can feel it. And then when we both show up at 100%, it's not me or you or I'm better than you. It's
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
you know? We're not fighting. It's not a competition. We're just being.
Unified.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Acknowledge. I just wish your mom would have taught you to have more access to your emotions. I just love the way you experienced that.
Me too.
Good.
It's fun.
Any other shares? Okay, Alice?
I put this out to my assistants. If you want to show up and come participate, come. And I'm so excited to be here. I cannot believe if they actually love their dreams, they're not in like breaking down the door.
Uh-huh.
Because every time I do this experience, my world catapults
Absolutely.
like no other technology. I mean, it just catapults.
Good. So now,
So I gotta
get
come
that
from that.
through to them.
Yeah.
Make them get it. Okay? Good job. Acknowledge. Any other shares? Okay, back over here. Who wants to go over here? Diana, come on up. Who wants to take on Diana?
Oh, I was just, perfect. I know, but I said I'll go, but I had no idea you were going. Okay.
Okay, so give me a declaration. I'm all ready.
I'm already committed.
Yes. And as of today.
I now step up to the next level.
And what does the next level look like to you? So-
Abundant,
Okay.
clear,
Okay.
scary,
Courageous.
courageous,
Good. Okay, good. I'm already what? What's the strength you have?
I'm already.
Wild guess.
Let me see.
I mean, you're like, I've got 100 strengths, so you just pick any of them.
I'm already confident,
Okay.
so.
And as of today,
And as of today,
what do you do that will, you think that will catapult you forward?
I wanna say not procrastinate, but I'm trying to think of a positive way
Well,
to say that.
what's the opposite of procrastination? Do it now.
Do it now. Okay, do
Take
it now.
action.
No, do it now.
Okay.
It's better.
As
Take
of n-
action.
as of
I will still
today-
procrastinate, take action.
As of today, I do it now.
As of today, I do it now.
Good.
So let me start over. Can I
Yes.
affirm?
Yes.
Okay, what's the first sentence?
I'm already confident.
I'm already confident, and as of today, I will do it now.
Not I will.
Oh.
I do it now.
I do, okay. I'm already confident, as of today, I do it now.
Good, good. And just so you know, the way that all works is that until you do empowerment dialogue, you'll think the reason you procrastinate is a lot of stuff that you use to judge yourself. It has nothing to do with that stuff.
Mhm.
It has to do with the fact that there's a conflict going on between your critical parent and your rebellious child.
Mhm.
And so those two need to come together. So between now and the time you do empowerment dialogue, make sure that you take little baby steps on doing it now. You're not here to judge yourself for when you don't do it now.
Mhm.
You're here to give yourself a triumphant touchdown
When I do it.
whenever you do any little tiny thing now.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
That felt
That
really
feels,
good.
it feels good.
Yeah.
Shares, anybody, anything you noticed or discovered, shares.
I just empowered myself and I gave,
Do me a favor, whenever you want to share, just raise your hand.
oh, sorry.
And then I'll call on you and then go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I gave him, I empowered, and I put it out loud so that it
Yeah.
was true.
Yeah.
And I felt Diana, we're both in the same place.
Yeah.
I felt we were both
Yeah.
very committed to this, and, yeah,
Good.
I felt very much like parallel with her, which was
Excellent.
great.
Good job.
Together.
Way to go. Acknowledge. Guys, do me a favor, put your phones away while you're in the workshop. Don't touch your phones unless you're on a break, okay? Good. Okay, any other shares before I go? Okay, come on up, Alice. Lisa.
Oh, snap.
Okay. Give me a declaration.
I'm already a star, and as of today, my dreams come first.
I love it. Elisa?
I'm already a good mom. And as of today, I surrender and take inspired action.
It works.
Don't break your blood vessel. Her face.
Let the dogs out.
That was so beautiful
That
to
was-
watch.
That
Both
was-
their faces looked like it was Godzilla. It was great. It was great. Any shares, Alice?
I am so excited to do that because I finally believe. I finally have a foundation underneath me that I feel supported enough to jump. And I put it there. I build it. Pain by brick, I build it. And I trust it because it's real.
It took a lot. It took a lot to get there, didn't it? And you earned every step. Thank you for letting me know how God feels when he watches each person take these steps up the ladder to get to where they can jump off the diving board. Acknowledge. Elisa?
I'm really getting this idea of reparenting your inner child, and that is the only relationship that matters. And I get that my baby has been crying, and I've just been like, not now. But I get to stop, because nothing is gonna stop that crying. There's a need that's not being met. And that is, I get to handle that. And until I satisfactorily do, that baby's needs aren't getting met. And it can either cry louder or make it up that their needs don't matter. And I realize that that's why I need to rage during this, because I need to cry until my mom gets it. I need, or whoever is there, that my needs are not being met. And I'm just gonna keep speaking up until they are.
And the inner child's needs will be met when the parent in your head does what?
Stops, slows down, decides to tune out everything else. It doesn't matter that anyone's talking right now.
Okay.
That baby's crying.
Yeah.
It's not gonna stop crying, and if it does, it's not good.
And so what are you gonna do for that little baby?
I'm gonna hold it and
Yeah.
be soft, like touch it and
Yeah.
sing to it, and like I had to do with my son. I getting agitated didn't help, so I had to like pretend I was a tree
Yes.
and be the calm that he needed until I could calm down enough to figure out what he might need.
Yes.
And keep trying. That's why I created the infant checklist. Are you thirsty? Are you hungry? Anytime I feel squirrely, I stop, I get on the couch, put a blanket over me, and I go, okay, am I thirsty? No. Okay, am I hungry? No. Okay, am I? So I'm addressing the infant's needs in the present moment, because that's what I am when I'm feeling triggered. I don't have a conscious, logical, rational sounding Wilbur. My Wilbur goes, ah! And I'm like, oh, shh. Wah! But you're just, wah! So I either stop and take care of the needs, or it just keeps going. It's not ever gonna stop. until I take care of that baby that was just hurt in childbirth. And, yeah.
Say that sentence again. 3 times, pause and notice what you notice.
It's not gonna stop
Until
I help that baby.
until I take care of that baby.
Until I take care of that baby. It's not gonna stop until I take care of that baby. It's not gonna stop until I take care of that baby.
Now, what I want you to know is that all the healing you've done till now has brought you to this place. And as you get really good at taking care of that baby, God will bring you lots of people for you to heal. And the ancestors of those people that are going to come to you to be healed are cheering you on. They're saying,
I noticed that Voices of the Angels cracked open the space
yes,
of what I've been healing, of being in that
yes,
delivery room
yes,
in the state I was.
yes,
And it was like the voices of the 2 angels I had were just cracked, like the whispers were coming into the story I created that was so powerful.
yes,
Because it was rooted in that trauma of being
Yes.
born.
yes,
And it's like, I'm starting to feel like what I need to do, it's,
yes,
the truth is gonna come through, but I need to
yes,
keep taking care of that baby until the baby gets it.
yes. Yeah, what I've learned, Elisa, is that I take care of that little boy. Well, Mel taught us, you know, when Mel created the Essence process, the reason why at the Awakening you have to make a poster of your childhood and put the one in the center with the sparkly little boy or girl, right, is because when I was in CEDU, Mel would teach us what he called the Essence workshops. Like one day, John Lennon, who was working with my therapist, Steve Gold, he went through primal therapy. And so he made an album. And there's a song he made about, for the first time I can see, for the first time I can feel, you know. And on the back of the album, he put a picture of himself as a beautiful little boy. But it was so blown up that it was kind of fuzzy unless you kind of put it a little ways away and then, oh, that's him as a little boy, right? Well, one day we were in a workshop, we were really high and touched and moved, and he brought the album cover in, he put it on a shelf, and he said, whatever happened to that beautiful little boy or little girl? And the room started getting choked up, and then tears, you know, big process. So he used to do that. So that's why, you know, that poster I bring up to the Awakening of myself as a little boy. I keep it in my bedroom. And if I have a hard day, I do what Mel taught me, which is take that little boy out, sit him on my lap. Care, how you doing? Were those people mean to you today? Do you want me to beat them up for you? You know? And I'll put on some music, and if I need to, I have a good cry. And but everything I do in my day, whether it's make jokes or ask for what I want, asking for help, drawing my boundaries, no thank you, I'd rather you not come to dinner with us, or go home, what do I want to watch tonight? Blacklist, and then Blue Bloods, and then Boston Legal. It's all about doing whatever makes my heart sing, because that's what takes care of the little boy. See, Zola knows what I'm talking about because she likes Blacklist. Thank you. Acknowledge it, Lisa. So, I want you all to know that Thursday is the post meeting for this workshop. Okay?
Mhm.
Is that also?
Movement to master.
Yes. And the people who were at the last blast off, like you, Danielle, since you've already learned the material that we're gonna do on Thursday night, you're gonna be teaching the new people
Yay.
the stuff, okay? And so, you'll all be there Thursday night for that meeting, including the people who are already in Movement to Mastery, unless they're out of state, okay? And you're welcome to bring guests, okay?
Mhm.
Because they can stay until the break. Now, I want you to brainstorm with me. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Let's close up the circle again.
Jerry, is Thursday a way to introduce things to them, so when I bring someone, they get
Yes.
a better idea? Okay, because I have some other ideas. Okay, great.
You have 2 people, right?
I'm trying to think how the other one was.
One from North Dakota's office.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of.
You're welcome. You're
I'm
welcome.
not sure about the other one.
I'm not either.
Leave it here for me.
Shoot.
Clear out.
I sent it to you, and I can't remember who the other one
Maybe.
was.
We do a switcheroo? You guys want to? Sure.
No, actually, no, I hate you.
Bam, we get turd.
I think I was sitting here.
What do you think?
Johnny, play music. Cheers. So your guest can stay here on Thursday till the break, okay, which is usually around 8 o'clock, okay? So from 6:40 till about 8 PM, you can have your guest here, and they're gonna learn some really advanced level tools for communication. Okay, really good stuff. Now, I really want, and if you're in Movement to Mastery, you really want more people in your Movement to Mastery program, okay? So you really want to get more people here, because they have between now and March, when we do Empowerment Dialogue, to sign up for Movement to Mastery. After that, it's too late. Let's wait till next year, okay? So you want to put it out, and here's what I want to do. I want you to brainstorm with me. I want to brainstorm, what would be good incentives? Like, what incentives could we offer you that would really inspire you to invite as many people as you can? Take your time, look at it, see what would really do the trick. I want to know, I really want to know what would work. What would make your heart really happy?
More Angel Boys games, just like the one I had yesterday.
Voice of the Angels?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Alice, would you do me a favor? Would you write these down so that in case, you know, we can make a list and then talk about it in staff? Okay. Voice of the Angels. Okay, what else? What incentive? Like if you gave me this, I'd bring like 5 people. Throw out any ideas.
Do they have to just come to the meeting, or do they need to sign up?
No. I mean, for Thursday, you think you just come to the meeting, okay? But I'm saying, I'm gonna come up with incentives, and then I'm gonna attach it to different things, like maybe the next relationships course, or the next, or Lori's orientation, or whatever. Right now, I just wanna know what incentives would get you inspired to really invite a bunch of people.
2 free tickets to the relationships course.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
Would
percentage off
be
of-
huge, but how many people would have to bring for
Yeah.
that to make sense?
Right.
And I say two because like the relationships course, it's hard to enroll one person when that person's married. And if the relationships course is gonna like speak to them, especially the one that's right around Valentine's Day. How many people
Okay.
would have to bring?
Okay, what else?
And I wanna say, I've done relationships 4 times, and all 4 times I was single. So-
Yeah, you don't have to be married for sure to do it, but everybody I know kind of is.
Okay. Cool.
And you never wanna, like, if one person wants to and one person is too scared to, you never wanna let the one person who wants to hold back just because their partner isn't safe enough, you know what I mean? Like I always say, look, you wanna come because whatever you're gonna learn there, in case your hubby is open to learning some of this, it would really help your relationship. Okay, what else?
How much is the relationships course?
It's $500 retail, and we give tickets, there's a few, very few free, there's more of the $97, then it goes half price and then full price.
I think my mom would like to, she said she wanted to come to that class, so.
Good. So, what's an incentive?
Free tickets?
Okay, free tickets, what else?
Gary, I was gonna say, I like the first 5 to sign up before the course begins.
Mhm.
$97.
Mhm.
That's my favorite.
Okay. Okay, what else?
Free genie game.
Free genie game. Yeah, because Lori charges 100 and I charge 75.
Free interview,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about
if you're
that.
brainstorming.
Mm.
Gary, what's the interview?
And if you're gonna stick around, you're gonna see one in a minute, because Lori's gonna come in, she's gonna do, she did Zola last night, she'll do Leo today, and it's basically where she gets them to the level of motivation that's below the surface, that's bigger than their barriers, and then helps them design their game plan. And last night with Zola was, you know, amazingly quick and easy and brilliant, you know. It's really inspiring to watch, you know.
You already do the soul readings anyways.
Well, I do them in the workshops, when they come to a workshop.
Because those are, people really
So
love those.
if I offered that as an incentive, like if you brought someone to the workshop and they signed up and then you got another soul reading out of it, that's an incentive? Or a soul reading for your
them.
friend?
Yeah, like when I brought Crystal, I told her that you would probably give her a soul reading, and that's what she was like, yes.
Okay, good.
How
Good.
much is one-on-one with you?
My sliding scale goes from 135 up to 500. Most people are in the bottom 2 categories.
Yeah, I bring people if I got one-on-one,
Okay.
for like 30 minutes or something.
Laura, myself, and Lori are all around 150 an
Yeah.
hour, okay?
Got it.
So for a one-on-one, that would be incentive.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Free awakening.
Brainstorm, you shoot for the
How about
moon.
how about half price?
How much?
I'll tell you what I would be open to. What I'd be open to, and I've got to run this by staff, so you can't hold me to it, but we're only brainstorming, is, say, for every person who enrolls in Movement to Mastery. But like you get them to enroll, okay? $250 off either your Movement to Mastery bill or your Awakening,
I can do that. That's nice.
okay? Or Spirit or Lava.
Mm-hmm.
What about, Lori's class?
Well, we can't use that as an incentive because they have to pay to do it. It's the same thing as Movement to, I can't give a free Movement to Mastery class. I can't, gotta pay costs.
I was gonna
No.
say, a
No.
free connected breath would be really.
Oh, Connected Breath.
Yeah, that'd be good. Or pure processing.
Or pure processing.
Or, there's different packages of the Awakening,
An upgrade?
like a room upgrade or something like that.
Oh, that's an idea, that's a
Like
good
work
idea.
towards a room upgrade
Yeah.
or work towards something like
Something
along those
special.
lines. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you like that, Gary?
What?
An upgrade at the Awakening, so up to
That would be if we got like 3 enrollments, because every upgrade is like $500 more.
Mm.
Or I think the first upgrade is like $1,000 more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But like work towards, like,
Is that a challenge?
Right, like if you got $250 toward the upgrade
yeah,
for each enrollment, that would work.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can make like a VIP table for all the people who upgraded.
Right?
Says the-
So let me run these by you and see if these work, okay?
Okay.
A free 1-hour session with either Lori or Gary, right? For each enrollment that you get into either Movement to Mastery or Awakening, then you get $250 off either your Movement to Mastery or Awakening, right? Or Spirit or Lava, right? And for all the other courses, for each enrollment into any course, like relationships, as long as it's a pay, it can't be a free ticket, it's gotta be like a 97 or half price or something, right? Then you would get like either a free DVD, which is the 6.5 hours of Success Beyond Sales, or a free book, or a 30-minute session with one of us, or a free Genie game, or a soul reading for one of your friends. And I have to talk to the board about free tickets to relationships because they decided last year that they weren't gonna do any more free tickets, they couldn't, it's too many. So the only ones that get a free ticket are the people on the producers team and the staff,
Mhm.
which is like, half a dozen. So, but I can do still $97 tickets. So if people got like 2 $97 tickets, or maybe I can talk to staff and see if they'll do 1 free and 1 $97, so they end up getting like a 2 for $197.
Mhm. That's a good idea.
Okay. So, other than me checking with the staff on the last idea, I'm gonna tell you guys, if you get people to Thursday night and you start working on anybody getting enrolled in the Movement to Mastery, Alice, do you think those offers will be okay with staff?
For that one, for this one?
Lori's already told me that she'll offer a free one-on-one session.
That's not my question. Are you saying for just this one particular course?
No, I'm saying
Or
if you
throughout.
get enrollments, if by bringing people, you get enrollments into Movement to Mastery or Awakening, Lori will or Lori's program, we will offer a one-on-one session. And for each enrollment that goes into Awakening or Movement to Mastery, we're gonna give you $250 off your bill, or off of Awakening, or off of Spirit or Lava, right? And for each enrollment into any workshop, like a relationships course, we'll give you either a free DVD, a free book, a 30-minute session with me, or a Genie game. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Or we'll give you, after I talk to staff, a ticket or 2 to relationships at a much discounted price. Okay?
Yes, I listened to that. I believe that's all. I believe that that would all work.
Okay, I already have some tickets that were supposed to be used at this course, but it still holds good for the relationships. So I'm gonna give everybody one of these. That means you already have one ticket to relationships course for $97. Okay? And I'll give you one for Zoom too.
Daniel,
Thank
I'm
you.
putting it out there that your mom will be there.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, Alice, do me a favor, come on up. I want you and Trent and Elisa to come up so we can acknowledge you.
You need to.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. I want to acknowledge Alice for producing, and Trent and Elisa, who will represent all of the other assistants who came this weekend. You can imagine how less of a course it would have been without these people, much less there would have been no course if they didn't step up and help produce it, okay? So, I want to hear from each person. We'll start with Trent, go down just a sentence or two about what you most want to be acknowledged for. And we'll hold your applause until the end, okay?
I want to be acknowledged for showing up with a smile on my face and loving myself and everybody here the whole time.
I want to be acknowledged for my imagination, which has allowed me to go into the realm of nothing and create everything.
Go ahead.
Bless you.
I want to be acknowledged for diligently doing my inner work so I can show up for you guys and help you start doing that for yourselves.
Good job. Okay, one special acknowledgement for Alice. I am so proud of you. I'm so excited for what you're stepping into. And I've loved watching every single step along the way. I will be with you every day until the end of time. Let's knock them off their socks.
Love. Oh, I like that. That's the new clap.
Take
Good
that,
job.
take that.
Take it.
Can I add that each one of them
Okay.
made a huge difference in my course, my life?
I'm gonna give you a short break until Lori gets here. And by the way, Sue just let one of us know if you change your mind about signing up for anything, because if you do decide to sign up for something, we've got some special offers for you.
Okay.
And take a break. Let's aim for 15 minutes. If Lori gets here sooner, we might shorten it so we can get back and get the interview going, okay? That way we'll get out earlier. Take a break. Music.
What they call the producers team, so she calls and.
Hey, Alice.
But I really want,
Go ahead.
a soccer. February 12th through the 15th.
Like this morning, I'm like, so it's me. They're like, it's good to get it out. And I'm like, oh, really? Now it's out there.
Some over there and it's you also get spirit. But it means that, if you do that whenever lava, just use the right factor, and you get rid of that. Yeah, you should, right, you can.
Or is it just for out of
I
state?
think it's just for certain people out of state that you get to resist that.
Maybe
I didn't ultimate.
Yeah, I know, I was just thinking about that.
But then, she was really into doing the awakening, there was nothing that was gonna stop her from doing the awakening, so I knew eventually she would get, and I knew I would eventually.
Yeah.
Love is.
Yeah, I do feel like, but I just don't know if it's gonna be this year or next year.
Andrea would
But
benefit.
then the ultimate also gets the spirit again, the spirit.
Who's Andrea?
Fantastic.
And I don't have to go to the Awake Hostel. So
Really
Lava's the
good
only
people.
one that I
So-
want to go to the Awakening.
Right, just that one. Just because the point of lava, I mean, other than being lava, is to learn
It was in
how
there on your
to
desk.
Like sign up
do
for Rice
breakthroughs on
Bowl.
other people.
It's that one.
But
And
you
she
want the
knows
first
she's
one to
so
do
Stop.
that the awakening
I
of
like
lava,
what this is.
build up and support.
But I'll have it when I need it.
Yeah.
After.
It's concentrated.
Right,
Alright.
right. And there's value there because lava by itself is pretty pricey, like that one, because there's some hard costs associated with it, and spirit is
No, stay for the-
outside of the
stay for the
awakening, the two
interview.
that are
You like the interview?
there. And that's the ones, the two that you get for doing ultimate versus modern.
You can't find a fighter, so I see it in you, so we can walk it out.
Yeah, my exact words were-
We can walk it out.
Two or three.
You guys did it so well, explaining how great this is. to me. So it's just like, I think I should get my kid, and I don't get it. I don't know why. I
We'll
think,
be like, alright, get out of here. Get out of here.
yeah, my advice would be the one,
I'm actually calling her right now, so I can't just ask her.
I just want money to appear out of nowhere. Please.
Spring is coming, the tree may bloom.
If I get a money tree, I will share.
Less than 10, less than 10.
Bring it to his feet.
I actually just got my corrections. I got a corrections. And I may have
I'm quite sure.
It's pretty good though.
Although he's so cute, every time he comes home, he wants to know, he wants to see everything. So you just tell me
wants to include that song on our, well, my original video. I think we ended up choosing
Alright.
different songs.
Sounds good. Okay.
There's just so many
Okay,
great ones.
sounds
You know
good.
the song that I heard
Okay.
yesterday that I thought,
No.
that might be a good one as a new song for like this year's Awakening video? Have you seen Maleficent? That song, is it playing the credits right at the end?
Yeah.
So good.
You know, dude, you wanna know something crazy?
That's crazy.
Every single person's song, like their decoration song,
Yeah.
every single one of them was on my list
Oh,
of ones I was gonna
30 or
choose.
50.
Yeah.
I think, I could see that if you're you, for sure, and especially now that I understand that you like 80s music and the older
I really
stuff.
do.
New stuff, but also, sounds like, I mean, you're such an old soul. It sounds like when it comes to that kind of stuff. Well, and you're more educated about, like, I wish that my older two boys were more educated on music. Like, my oldest, Alex, when I talk to him about music, he's just like, well, I like video game music. It's not the same. I do like video game music, so.
I'm very, I like to be proficient in television in a bunch of areas. That's what makes my head sing, you know, I like to know about art, I like to know about music, and I like to know things, you
Oh
know?
my gosh. I need to like share with you videos and pictures of when I was in Italy and got to see.
I saw Zen, you know what, she was the girl I did forgiveness process with, did you know that?
Oh.
And it came about in a very miraculous way, so I have to tell you.
Oh goodness.
But I was there.
You might know things about me that I didn't know you
I
knew
have no
about me.
idea about you, she was telling me about her.
We'll check it out.
She's so beautiful.
The Halloween I was doing.
I love her. Yeah, I was there when she was like, holy shit, I need to go to Paris. So Paris is calling.
We need to give Lulu a good time.
Oh, I was so proud of her when she was there.
Yeah. If you are gonna go to Paris, or if we're gonna go to Paris, let's make sure that we like communicate just in case it would be really cool.
That would be
to get,
very
like a
cool.
group of people to go.
I've always wanted to go to Paris. Paris is
I've never done that.
10 minutes!
I took friends.
Really only 10 minutes?
I said 10-minute timer.
Okay.
Because I wasn't working the tune in the
like I wanted to learn how to speak Italian so that the reason why operas are so cool is because they don't lose, the language isn't translated, because then you can't have to write music. So I want to be able to understand,
I'll do it backwards.
understand.
That's so fun.
Alright, so I'm not
Let
gonna
everybody,
remember
let everybody up there know 5 minutes.
5 minutes!
The statue that, what I always want to see is my branch with a Mother Mary with
I know, that's the one you showed. That's the one you showed the kid, but
one of my uncles has, a miniature version in the house.
this picture, it doesn't do it
It
justice.
doesn't.
It doesn't. When you're there, and they have the bulletproof glass, so you can only get about that close, right?
Yeah.
Man, this can't
Oh, is
be-
it teeny?
No, it's huge. But
I
mean,
have
no, it was
pictures.
huge, but
I have
this was as
pictures of
close
the
as we could
David.
get.
Yeah, I
This
have
is as close as we
pictures
could get, that's like really protected, like more so than the David. Like we
I
went and
have
saw the David in
pictures of the
Florence.
David, of the hands of the David.
Oh my gosh, I got better
gosh.
pictures of David, let me find the David. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that we did all these stupid walking tours, because the art was just really paid off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I took like a million pictures of the David.
Oh, the David, the hands, the veins.
So leading up to the David, they have all of these unfinished works by Michelangelo, where the guys are like still stuck in the rock,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like this one, they're still stuck in the rock. So that when you finally get, and you need to see the David, see from a distance, you're like seeing this, and then you see the finished masterpiece.
It's so funny, his version of Girls, I think the only girl,
It's when you see replicas.
I need you to fill out your address,
Got it.
cell phone number,
Got
and
it.
email
Got
address.
it.
Yeah,
What's
the replicas
crazy?
just don't do it justice.
I can tell you like, what the thing is called a contra costo.
Right.
Go ask Alice.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to take it as private parts.
No, I love it. No, the raw, no, I'm not kidding. It's raw man. And what Michelangelo does
The
is he
veins that are in
can't.
his hands. I
He-
mean, he's just
What he
the veins
does.
that they've got going on. You just can't see
What he
it.
does is he captures them before they're going to make a move. So he always does the athletes that are thinking about action. They're thinking about moving and they haven't yet. And it's all about right before. And they're all naked and they're all raw right before a moment of action.
Right, right, and well, and the idea was this is, he's got the rock, he's got the sling,
Yeah,
he's
and
ready
he's ready to go,
to
but he's
kill
thinking
Goliath.
about it. He's picturing it. And he captures the moment of action.
It's everything, just the mood.
I'm gonna go get a pencil and I'll be right back.
Just living my truth, you know, the higher.
Okay. All right.
I was such a gangster.
Oh, you are. I love it.
I'm glad I have pictures of myself in front of these like priceless. There was so much priceless works of art that were like on the street corners and crap.
Yeah.
That you just get when you finally.
I wanna check with you, would you prefer?
Yeah, it's okay with me. No, Alice suggested that it was more empowering that way. That was the reason why I'm doing it, for doing it today, and, especially when she was doing hers, I felt like an active participant through
Mosaic,
this.
that's
I
sure.
felt like an expert.
I just wanna make sure they get what you want.
That's the Pantheon. Right?
Yeah, so this is the Pantheon.
How much time left, honey?
Did you go to Rome?
We had to like create the
Yeah,
little
we
panels
just
and keep it
went to
to.
When you're Rome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really.
I'm
the
so
Pantheon was
excited.
really
I'm so
powerful.
excited for my gift, my little like thing.
The countdown was like,
If you go to the opera, they don't tell you that's why that's my reward for
2
completing the
minutes.
course.
Which opera?
Don Giovanni.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
where
my
at?
favorite. I have no idea. It's just gonna come from Salt Lake and I'm gonna watch it.
Tell me
it's just a suit. Here's my
Okay.
friend's.
So here's St. Peter's was like, our tour guide was so awesome. It's just so, like, everything's real gold, like everywhere, everywhere. But
I
the-
took art history for 2 years.
Let's see if we can see one. So the giant, what looked like oil paintings. I cracked some pictures. But, I mean, the scale of this
Yeah, it's
building is so huge. And they've got all these, oh, there's one. Okay, right. Like that one. So that's not a painting. That is a 40-foot by 20-foot
it's
mosaic. It's the little tiny rocks.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the little tiny rocks, and it must have just taken somebody their entire life to create it.
The worst part is no,
I know.
it didn't take them their whole life. They did it in like
years.
2 weeks.
Oh, right, but
These artists back then
that
take
level,
years to do things.
yeah, it would take forever. That to make it look like an oil painting, 40 feet tall by 20 feet wide, with little tiny mosaic rocks. And then you go up and you see the detail of it, and you can't see the little
Back in
rocks
the day,
until you
nothing
get
took
really
weeks,
close.
dude. Like art back in the day took years.
1
Yeah, because they were like
minute.
royally commissioned.
Yeah, there was art back in the day took years.
Like the David took Michelangelo.
Yeah, Zoe,
a
she's
while.
shaking her head no, like she's there. Yeah, it did.
Well, they
Tell
didn't
you,
bust it out.
I took it for 2 years. There are a couple of pieces. I'm gonna have fun with you, Moving Master. You trigger me the best way, so I love
Oh,
it.
it's just teasing.
I'm already running into Zola being right about stuff that I, like John Lamb getting shot in 1980, I thought, you're crazy.
Oh, I know.
Didn't he get
I
shot
can't
in,
believe
like,
I was
the
right about
70s?
that.
No, it was totally, there was a
December 6th.
December 6th in 1980, John Lennon got shot.
I like
Holy
to
crap.
know
I
things.
totally thought it was right.
I don't know. I like to know.
Now, I'm not even gonna challenge you on the trivia.
I know, actually, I actually don't have any experience in the art industry. So
You're a painter. You're a painter, so I get it. You're a painter. Aren't you a painter? Don't you paint?
Oh, yeah.
1 minute.
But I paint commercial and residential, not art, not that.
Oh, you should. I would love to see a piece of it. I think you
They
could
kept
paint
talking about
something.
like a whole.
I'm artistic for sure. I draw, I'm drawing a lot.
Me too.
So,
Well, no, I mean, it's 2 years later.
I know, but it's an experience, you know?
It is an experience, and I might, I feel like some of the value of it is
You're not all huntsmen.
not. I'm the huntsman.
He's the only huntsman, baby.
Why do you guys?
Time!
Sue?
Are you?
for that.
My branch, yeah, we're all related,
Yeah.
but I'm not that related. My branch of the Huntsman family got sent to dirt hole for southern Utah. No, I wish.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead, what?
Okay.
It's like, you had to bring that up.
Not the Huntsman that created Styrofoam.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the time over to Lori, who's gonna take Leo through an interview. And I appreciate you all being attentive, so if you find yourself drifting, you can stand up behind your chair, or Lori will probably keep you very engaged during the interview.
Hello, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Gary. All right. So Leo, just bring your chair. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. You saw the, you know the drill.
You might know.
Saw it yesterday. Okay. Oh, thank you. Would you consider the note-taking again? You're so good at it. I don't know what we're gonna ever do when you're not here. I'm like, you're really good at it. Yes, you are. Hi, Trent.
Hey, Lori. Nice to see you. You look wonderful. That's a great
You
photo.
do look
It
wonderful
does.
today.
Yeah.
It is a
It is
great
a-
color.
Well,
You just
thank you,
have
thank you, thank
your
you.
And it
skin
kinda works
color,
with,
I don't know, everything's.
With the
With
purple hair?
the purple hair.
It works.
Did everybody hear the purple hair story? It's
I
really
heard it.
fun. Leo, did you hear the purple hair story? Oh. Oh.
I was so inspired by it, I did blue.
Ah.
It washed out, 'cause I did just.
Oh, that's way
whatever.
cool, though.
Oh, I
did
That's
blue.
fun.
Wanted to be like Lori when I grew up.
There you go. And
I
you don't mean
decided not
tall,
to.
you don't mean height-wise, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because otherwise you'd have to grow down.
Sorry, I just worried you were
It's
more-
funny, honey.
Right, like it landed right here in your eye. That's it.
Oh, yes. Well, we're waiting for our dear Leo. Leo, did you hear the purple hair story?
I did.
Okay,
Kind of.
Yeah. All righty, so we're gonna put everything down, and we're gonna just land this puppy. Would you close that door for me? Thank you. All right, so close eyes. And we're gonna focus on breathing. Mostly for me, because I just arrived. I want to land, so I can do a really good job. And as we're breathing, really contemplate what breathing is. We are oxygenating our system. We want our blood, brain, bones, cells, entire system to be richly oxygenated. And just feel your whole system, you know, scan up, scan down, say hello with as much appreciation as you possibly can afford to give your beautiful body experience, because it doesn't matter what you have been through, what you are going through, what you will take yourself through. In reality, this vehicle, this body system, wow, it's part of being here. And if you like being here on the planet, we want to include body. So hello, body. Thank you for staying alive. how often, in our busy days, we don't take time to really acknowledge and appreciate the gift of having a body. I'm staying with this one right now because it feels really vital. And so breathing and relaxing and releasing, just letting yourself melt into experiencing body. So often, our bodies take the hits for us. We're going to move right into emotional heart now, especially when our feelings are intense and we don't know what to do with them. We often will ignore and suppress, and then that's how body takes a hit. Body, it's all happening in body. And if you've ever experienced depression at all for any duration of time, my experience of depression is that's us trying to suppress to such a degree that we literally are compressing inside, and it eventually turns into depression. So we are really wanting to revitalize, re-energize, recalibrate being, which includes all of us, all of the self that is. So emotions, so that we can acknowledge them, we can appreciate that they are our guidance system. They are letting us know where we're at and how we're doing, and if they're ever not the way we want to feel, it's just a course correction. It's just awareness, and then, okay, that's not how I want to feel, that's not where I want to go, so let me do a quick assessment to see how to go to a do want, a better feeling, a happier thought. What can I look for that lifts my spirit? And breathing. And then moving right into thoughts and mind and just noticing. Don't have to even do anything different, just noticing. How are they going? Are they fast? Are they slow? Are they harsh? Are they kind? Just noticing how they are, because more ability to assess. When we tune in, we notice parts of self. That's information, that's data we're collecting. We can do something with that. We don't have to be at the effect of all of this. We can actually redirect, especially mind. Thinking a thought that doesn't feel good, look for something around you that makes you feel better. Focus on it. Now go to the top of your head and just open up that lens, that chakra, and just start tuning into your spirit connection. Whatever your belief is about that presence, that power, that energy flow, that universal force, just open up your lens at the top of your head, your crown chakra, to let that energy flow in and just expand it. That is inspiration, that is guidance, that is support. We need all of that we can get. All of that we can let in. Let it flow all the way through you, and then go right on down to your feet and open up at the soles of your feet, open up that lens down there and that chakra system there to allow earth energy in, grounding, definitely supporting. Merging and mingling with the universal energy. So we are an interesting combination, a blend of energetics and physicality. We want to be balanced, to have the greatest successes we can have. And now go back into your heart area for that little girl, little boy, that sweet innocence that you may need to go all the way back to the womb or even to the pre-existence to connect at a level of pure, positive energy. And as you say hello there, allow yourself to connect, to say, have a conversation. Reassure that part of you that you are opening up to alignment there. You're opening up to healing there. That you want that part of you to know that we're coming back for it. It's not ignored. It's supported, and you know that it brings you gifts too. And then come back to the space, and we're going to do the coming back to space in a peekaboo today. So put your hands over your eyes. Let yourself kind of blink inside your hands so you don't, you've been eyes closed, so coming back to some light, sometimes it's a little bit much. And then just kind of peer out through your eyes so you can kind of see each other, but not really opening up yet. You're just kind of looking gently. Yep, you're creating some safety for that little self. And then you can kind of peek open and then close it up again, because there's a part of us in all of us, and it's irrelevant how old we are in our physical experience. The reality is we all still have a sweet, innocent little self inside that is really still wanting to feel safe, right? Always wanting to feel safe. And so a lot of times we don't know how to be with each other. It's just fact. People will walk around the world and don't know how to say hello for real. And then we end up going into interesting and funny behaviors. So we have a lovely young man who is ready to take a leap. And we want to support him to be safe through the journey. Okay? So I want all of you to be breathing consciously. Kenya, will you go close that door? Breathing consciously so that if we get to emotion, we're going to just keep the energy flowing with him, okay? And send him energy from your heart to his so that he knows you have his back, okay? You send whatever energy you want for him so he feels completely supported and completely safe with all of us, okay? I'm so happy you jumped in. I wanted to come back and do this. So, Leo, why did you jump in?
For myself.
Yeah.
Support for myself.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I find myself needing support.
Yeah.
And this is my 4th class. Came in here this week in divine timing, just filled with muck. The second I walked in the door, the muck was gone.
Oh, good.
And so I asked Spirit, is this something I should do?
Yeah.
I, at the same time, right after I looked and said, what makes your heart truly sing? Gary said the sentences immediately about after I read the sentence on there.
Yeah.
So, divine synchronicity was my answer immediately.
Hello. Yeah.
And so I learned to listen, well,
good.
and it guides me well. So
Yeah, good.
there's my support structure there. So.
There you go.
Yep, and then the most amazing thing happened today in terms of financial support from these lovely people behind me.
Yes.
That put down the money for deposit for this all to happen. So it's thanks to the lovely behind me that this is happening. So.
Do me a favor, stand up. Come over here by me. And we're not going to say anything. Just look him in the eye with your gratitude. And let in all of that love. One of the things that happens here is that we all come in different degrees of need, right? Different levels of healing. And the truth is that this is a program where we learn skills and we get support. It doesn't mean everybody's at the top of their game, it just means we're all working it together. Gary, me, Alice, all of us, we're working it together. We all have those next steps to take, right? So I want you to remember this moment. These people supported you to be here, and they want you in. Yeah, good job. All right, have a seat. So, in as much as you want support, what do you need support with? What are the kinds of changes you would love to see for yourself?
Support emotionally.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little
It's
bit.
been a long time since I went through my dark night of the soul and
Yeah, yeah.
became like a lighthouse, and with that came, you know, so, you know,
Love
and
the
there
sound
lies,
effects.
lies a heart that, you know, stuff's been thrown out a whole bunch of times, and recent to my support from close methods such as family, and, you know, it's fallen apart. I have some friends that are lovelies and been with me for a long time, but they have their own lives, you know.
Sure, sure.
And so I talk to them. So any closeness support has been kind of melted away and shattered.
Got it.
And there's so much kind of, you know, subconsciously start to, you know, not care, and that's concerning. And that's
Sure.
kind of where I was. So,
Sure.
like I said, I felt like I was covered with muck. And so,
Awesome.
after just this fourth class again, like, you know, feeling back in alignment, and the way I felt yesterday was incredible. And so,
Good.
you know,
Good.
remembering who I am again and what's
Yes.
going on. So.
Awesome. So tell me who, when you say remembering who I am again, tell me who you am again.
Badass, brave ass lion.
Great. Are you a Leo?
I am. My name's Leonardo, and it actually means brave lion.
Oh,
But it's exactly what I am.
But in astrologically too? You-
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, starseed and Illyrian. Yep. And sometimes you can see it lying on my neck, and some people can see it from time to
Yeah,
time, and they
yeah,
go, "Oh my
yeah.
God, I can see it." And I'm like, "Yep."
Wow, good for you.
Capturing pictures and stuff like that. So.
Awesome, dear.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna hear you roar then, huh? Yeah, okay, sounds like a plan. So we're gonna dig a little deeper. We're doing beautifully, by the way. We're just gonna keep going right on in. So tell me again, why do you wanna be here?
Support.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Just emotional support from these lovelies, like I said.
Yeah.
You know, from Positive Soul Tribe. When I first walked into, or Rise found me, was I set the intention in the universe to find
Mm.
my soul tribe.
Yeah.
My good vibe tribe,
Yeah.
and, you know, it, the divine alignment, I found it.
Yeah.
It found me.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, it's like the one place I go back to where those around me are all seeking to empower me, and that's
Mhm.
me seeking to empower them versus, you know,
Mhm.
feelings such as fear-based fear, feelings such as envy and jealousy,
Exactly.
you know, such.
Yeah.
So,
So let's talk about emotional support for a bit. Tell me about your emotional, personal self-support emotionally.
very high for myself.
Yeah.
Super high and
Yeah.
clear. Having the understanding of what I do now,
Yeah.
through all the recent, especially self-education and inner work I've done,
Mhm.
things like insecurities and, you know, small human things have kind of melted away because I've, you know, realized I'm a spark of the divine, you know,
Yeah.
son of God, like all of us were. And so, a lot of that small stuff is melted away.
Mhm.
But like I said, I signed up for a whole big package before I incarnated this time, for my
Yeah.
37th incarnation.
Yeah.
And so I took on a big old chunk, you know,
Yeah.
and so a lot of stuff's been thrown at me, a lot, and I've
Yeah.
been through a lot.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Close your eyes for a moment and feel that. I've been through a lot. Just feel that. Feel the impact of I've been through a lot. Just breathe with that. And feel the gift of all of that energetic empowerment. So those of us that have been through a lot, because mostly when people come to us, they've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. Probably nobody on the planet hasn't been through a lot. Probably just being on the planet means going through a lot. And so reality is that it's strengthening, right? It's empowering because we survive it, we come through it, we develop the presence of mind and heart and soul and physicality
true.
to come through it all, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you foresee for yourself in this program?
Being, finally aligning with my, well, being in alignment, so
Mhm.
that I can receive my abundance that I already know is there
Yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And is my birthright inheritance.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of aligning myself for it to come into my here and now.
Yeah. Now go back to where you were starting to go, alignment of, and you started to go someplace and then you changed it, so I want to see where that was going.
I was gonna say aligning, but I
Mhm.
meant to say alignment.
Okay,
So that's
all
what
right,
direction I was
got
going
it.
in.
All right, what needs to align in you?
You know,
Let
I
me
think so, I believe if I had that pinpointed, I might have already fixed it, because I do
Yeah.
do inner work every single day.
I get
I
it.
mean, every day I do inner work, right?
I can hear it, how you talk, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if I had that pinpointed,
Mhm.
might
Great.
have already fixed it, so I
Great.
believe.
Go inside then, let's go a little bit deeper and see if
Yes.
something comes to you. So, I'm gonna say it this way, so, between your body, your emotional heart, your thoughts and mind and belief system, your spirit connection, your earth connection, just see what's needing to be tweaked, what's needing to
I got
be-
it,
okay.
emotional wounds.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, good. Close your eyes, go inside again. Say hello to that little boy inside, that innocence. I want you to find the age that was most beautifully, innocently, purely vibrating, and then let him know, you know that he took some hits, that we're going back for him, that he's gonna get to be safe again emotionally. And let me know when that's done, okay? Now go to the age, the youngest age inside you that took the greatest amount of emotional hits. Tell me what those two ages are. Let him know, though, before you come back, let that little boy know that you know he's holding some really big, emotional, hurtful energy, and that you know that he did that so that you could go on and have a life, and you're going back with him now. You want him to feel healed.
There is, myself at 8, but then the really came through my dark night of the soul, and then more within the 5-year span.
Okay.
Was when it,
What
now
was
it's
the-
29 years old.
Oh, okay. So so the innocence was 8.
Mhm.
Okay, and
Yes.
then the dark night of the soul is like 29-ish?
Yes.
5
Start at
years?
29.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So let's go back earlier. Go back to even more innocence. Go way, way, way back. See who pops in that he's holding, what is that word? He's holding a promise to come through it all, and he knows what he's up against, and he's choosing it. Earliest age that comes to you.
6.
Okay, all right.
My memory doesn't come
It's
too much
okay.
before 8 years old.
It's okay, don't worry.
But I think
And you
6
don't
years
need
old-
memory, you just
6
need.
years old comes to mind,
Okay,
my
great.
heart.
Go back in and let him know that you're grateful, that he has the power, the personal presence to know that you're gonna make it through. You're grateful that he's holding that intention for you. Okay, good job. Let him really feel that with you.
I got it.
Yeah.
That's when I was 7,
Okay.
and I moved to this country, from another country. I
Where?
started going to school without knowing a word of English.
Oh, where from?
Brazil.
Okay.
That's
Got
what
it.
it is. I think I suppressed that.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So you've talked to that little boy and you've let him know that he's gonna be okay.
Yes.
He's holding that intention and we're going back for him.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Good. Now we're gonna do something slightly differently. Just breathe while I'm being with this. Okay. So do you have any memories of Brazil?
No.
Okay, so when you got here and you didn't speak English and you're already getting into school age, right?
Yes.
And you're probably feeling out of the loop, you know?
Certainly.
Yeah, and maybe even people weren't as nice and welcoming as they
Correct.
could have been.
Kids are mean.
Yeah, just to put it bluntly, yeah. Yeah, because in our current evolutionary mindset on the planet, most of the world still holds anxiety or concern or fear-based beliefs about differences.
Yes.
So we
Fear on
don't-
differences.
Yeah, we don't necessarily embrace the differences, which is really the gift. Hello, the
Right.
variety, right? But basically, we're still like, people still like, oh, wait, you're different. We don't know if we
Yes.
are okay. Yeah,
Yes.
got it. So now go into that little boy, that 7-year-old little boy, in that moment, not that moment, but that period of time when he is being made fun of for being different, and he doesn't know how to talk the language, and he's, you know, thrown into a completely foreign culture, and yeah, and then show him. Wait, let's do it this way. So hold him in your mind's eye, and then call upon your future self, the part of you that is already healed emotionally, those forgotten wounds, so that he's now walking strong, walking tall in his experience, in his life. He's doing his purpose. He's living his, you know, soul mission. He's really got game. Got it? Now have him talk to the 7-year-old. Have him let that 7-year-old know that he is here for him, that he is going to come through it all. There it is. Good job. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, good. So, why do you want to do this program?
I find it. And for this reason.
And tell me about this reason that you just said for this.
To further encourage this inner healing. From emotional support, whether it be from the outside or from within.
And from your future self, right? Yeah. All the spirit source that is. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Okay. You feel it?
Absolutely.
You got that. You got it. All right. Let's pull out your paperwork.
Can I see the paperwork?
Yeah. Good. All right. That was fun. All right. Thank you. Yes, he took a few notes for you, so there you go. You look them over and see if you want to add to it, because that was a pretty powerful little connection you just got to experience. So if you need to include anything that you didn't capture, because I wasn't paying attention to that. Thank you for doing
I like
it.
it.
Okay, very good. All right. Very good. All right. Oh, the other packet, yeah.
I have an extra one.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you. Otherwise, we can
Wait,
get.
the one that I asked you about?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
you have
it
it?
is? Yeah, good.
You can keep yours, and I have
Okay.
I have an extra one.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
It's
Very
not
good.
stapled.
That's okay. It's actually better if it's not stapled, because we make it easier for us to work with. So the first thing you're gonna do, you can put all the rest of that stuff down. We're only gonna work with this one. You can go to your old ways page. Now, all of you are welcome while we're doing this part, and it's the 6 boxes. So the 3 on top and the 3 on the bottom, so it'll say old ways. So look for the page that says old ways. And you're all welcome to do any version of this for yourselves. You know, or some of you've already done it, but you know, it's helpful. So we're gonna start on the top row on the left side, and we're gonna start with 1 trigger that upsets you, like something that people do or that you experience in the world that you don't like. So come up with one, and then we're gonna bounce to the third column. You're gonna talk about, you're gonna write in your reactions.
Selfishness.
Okay, so when people are selfish, you react how?
Pulling back.
Okay. All right, and then another trigger.
Narcissistic behavior.
Okay. Describe that to me. What would that look like?
Someone who bases every single thing about them, everything
It's only
centered
about
around
them.
It's
They
only
can't-
all about them, you know, we tell them a story like, oh yeah, my day was good, well, my day was, and you're like, you know, everything is centered
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, so they don't do exchange of energy.
No exchange of energy, no, if you tell them, oh, guess what happened to me today, you know?
They
it's
always
like,
make it
oh
about
yeah,
them.
but, you know, but myself, and you're like,
Yeah,
you know, it's
okay.
never about anybody else but themselves.
Got it, so go ahead and put that one down. And then your reactions.
Frustration.
Okay. What do you do for behavior, though? That's the feeling. What's your behavior out of that? Like when you get frustrated with somebody's being, you know, self-centered or self-absorbed, what do you do?
Close off more, or,
Do you judge them?
no, I remove judgment from myself and from
Okay.
others. I
Very
remove judgment
good.
from my mind altogether.
So you just pull out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go deeper inside, or do you walk away, or do you cut them off, or do you?
The
you know-
unfortunate part is some of these people are very close to me, so it's possible just to cut them off.
Yeah,
So I guess I'm still looking for
a way to be.
a way to be, like, but otherwise still become complacent, you know, and kind of just agree with their, you know, what they're doing, what
Ah.
they're saying, just to get through, and just to know it's
Okay.
not gonna really make an impact anyways, and
Would
just let
you
them kind of just.
Yeah, so would you call that people pleasing, or? Is there another
Being
thing that
less
comes?
restrictive, or, you know, with someone.
There's
Let's see.
something in there energetically, I'm trying to catch on to it too.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're,
It's like, yeah, sure, yeah, definitely, whatever you say, kind of thing, you know?
kind of writing them off a little bit too.
There's definitely I care a lot, you know, at first,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then once
yeah.
I see that there's,
That it's not coming back?
that it's just not
Mhm.
coming back, and it's energy I can't afford to, or
Yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to,
Yeah.
because I'll just stress myself out with it, you know?
Yeah.
With that until I'm spent, then I
Oh,
just.
could it be withdrawing love or pulling out?
Definitely not withdrawing love, 'cause I still have a lot of love for them, and if they call upon me for any reason, you know, it's a real need for them, then
Yeah.
I'm still gonna come through.
Got
you
it,
know?
so it's not love, it's
It's just
withdrawing.
no longer.
We're getting there, don't worry, we're
We
getting
definitely are.
there, yeah.
It's just no longer kind of buying into it, you know,
Mhm.
just being a little bit.
But there's a behavior there, so this is all the mental things you're doing, you're like
Certainly.
recognizing that they're not gonna be here for me, and so
Certainly.
some kind of an energetic withdrawal.
I guess pulling back also describes that.
Pulling back might be where we go with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, put that one down.
Okay.
It's not pulling back, it's pulling out. It's pulling out energetically.
Yes.
Because you recognize this isn't an exchange of energy.
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna, what's that word? Oh, come on. I'm going to, lip service. There's pulling back and doing lip service.
And part of being an empath, you know, and protecting yourself and your energy is doing so, is you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
you know,
Because the
invest
lip
yourself
service is where you're
100%,
kind of
someone's
going.
not investing back in you.
Right. And the lip service is the part where you're saying, you're going, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, that's the lip
Yes.
service part. Okay, good.
Correct.
Go back to another trigger, last trigger that we're gonna work with here, so another thing that upsets.
Rude.
Okay, yeah. And then how you react to that.
Equal.
You get rude back?
I don't wanna say, it sounds egotistical if I say in a.
Be egotistical here. It's okay.
In a more enlightened manner, but maybe more, you know, eventually, like, if they continue being rude, then I'll
You
light
dish
them
it-
up, you know?
dish it back.
Then I'll light them up real good, but
Mhm.
I try to stay centered and everything as much as possible, and actually, I'll definitely just close off. I'll say my behavior when they get rude like that. You know what? Since I've grown a lot more, instead of returning it like I used to, now I just cut away.
Okay. Cut away, but I want you to also include a little bit of the reactionary part. So I get it, you're pretty evolved, but realistically, there's
Sure.
still a place that
That's
is
what I
still
mean.
reactionary.
Tons.
So we want to actually get that piece. So let's go, not to the place where now that I'm more evolved. Let's go to the place that's still really inside,
Right.
that is still really reactionary.
Right.
So if somebody's rude to you, what's your defensive mode?
Feel like I want to bust them in the nose.
Okay.
But.
All right, but that's the feeling. What's
Yes.
what's the actual behavior?
Matching their.
Yeah, rudeness.
Their rudeness.
Yeah, in some form or fashion, right?
Yes.
It may not even be physical, it may not even be verbal. It may just be the attitude you take on or something, right?
Right.
Okay, matching their rudeness, okay, that's good. Now go down to the bottom row, left side. What are 3 things you either avoid or resist doing? You're gonna start with one, and we're gonna go all the way across the page.
Avoid or resist doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently, it's been finding another job. I found me a fantastic job, making $60,000 a year.
Yeah?
But I have found that Spirit does not, after all the work I've put in and what I've been through, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my boot camp, if you will,
Yeah?
is really adamant about me doing work that isn't just gonna pay the bills, even
It's
if it pays
aligned with
well,
you?
but it fulfills my purpose as well. And until
So-
I do that, something will crumble that will, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
until I get it right.
Okay, so then the
So-
resistance is to,
When it starts to fall apart and I start to feel the pressure from all the mundane things, you know, your finances, your family, all those things like that, and then it becomes to a point to where I stop caring as much and then lose sight, I guess if you will, right? Until I'm reminded again of my, you know,
so you just said something I just realized you said before, and I think it's gonna be in our reactions. So put, stop caring
Okay.
somewhere in there too. Because, back in the day when I lived, you know, as a child in my home where I was empathic too, and I was feeling everybody's confused feelings and not knowing it wasn't all mine. And it would just get so crazy inside my head. It was so overwhelming to try to make sense of the chaos, you know, and there was also some violence, and there was also all kinds of abuses, and so it was really just too much. So I started saying, I don't care, a lot. That was my buffer zone. It's like, I don't care. And it was just the way that I created a barrier between how much I did care and how overwhelming it was. So when you said those words, I stopped caring, I get that's a part of a safety zone for you. If I don't care as much here, it's not gonna hurt as much,
because
right?
like mentally I still stay clear, I still
Yeah,
care and see the
but we're
perspective.
talking about
But I feel it in
emotional, right?
here, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's the
if
place
I
that
feel
we're
it here,
working
the
on.
heartbeat starts to, you know.
Exactly.
Vibrate and rock, and anxiety goes through the roof, you know.
Exactly.
Skin crawls, and I'm just like, oh dear.
Put anxiety, get anxious.
Anxiety, there it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
the big one.
Those are the big ones. And that's what the work is here this year for
Yes.
you. It's not all the wonderful understanding you've developed. It's hooking it all up together in alignment.
I could say losing the anxiety would be the #1 thing out of this
Circle
entire
that one.
program.
Circle that, yeah, okay. All right, so back down to the bottom row. So, when you start to not care, what is it that not caring gives you safety about? So something is causing anxiety, and you don't want to have to feel that, so you start pulling out energetically, not caring. So what is it that you're avoiding?
Further feeling of anxiety without resolution in sight.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take you deeper, okay? So, further feeling anxiety because, first thing that pops. Just the first thing that pops, you don't wanna think too
Of
much.
carrying more than
Because,
they,
okay, more than they what?
I feel like it's a judgmental statement, but still, like, it seems,
okay.
you know, it seems to be that way.
Yeah, but more than they what?
More than they do,
Yeah, so,
or more than they portray.
yeah, okay, so then, hold on. So then what you're avoiding is caring more than
avoiding an energy loss.
Yeah, but that's too heady. I'm taking you into feelings now. So caring more than they do. We're just gonna put it that way, really simple, because I wanna bring that little innocence back out too, okay? Because we're talking about a 7-year-old. So caring more than they do. And they is the big they out there. So it could be the kids at school. It could be the jobs that don't really care about alignment. It could be the family members that pull on you however they do. It's they, okay? All right, then, so you avoid caring more than they do because that's the middle, this is the middle one. Yeah. What's the because in that?
If I say it from a 7-year-old perspective, it hurts.
Good, thank you, smart. Now you're catching on to the game, here we are. All right, now the justification.
They suck. Just kidding.
Let's go with that, yeah, put that, they suck, yeah. There we go, getting down to real. All right, next thing you avoid or resist.
Doing what I have to, we'll go back,
Yeah.
some 7-year-olds too as well.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have
Like,
to.
nope, don't wanna do it.
Yep, can't make me. Okay.
Doing what I have to.
Yep, for them. There's something interesting in that because it keeps going energetically, it keeps going back to the battle of the innocence with the world that doesn't receive him well, doesn't recognize him. It's not even receive. They don't get him. It's like they don't get the gift, right? And it's almost like, well, then you don't deserve it. Excuse me, I'm gonna do some therapeutic cursing. You don't fucking deserve it then, asswipes. Sorry. I just gotta go all the way there.
Send it.
Yeah, don't go like there, Oh, we're not recording, are we? Are we recording? Oh my gosh. Just kidding. He'll never see it. We
You
don't-
never know.
We don't look at this. Okay.
I think I've heard Gary say the F word before.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we, getting back to us. All right, the because. I gotta remember the camera's on.
Cause then I get the emotion of no fucks given. Oh, this is my bad too.
Yeah, okay,
So-
yeah, put that down.
And that's why I feel like I stopped, I'm like, you don't care, I don't care. Just like
Yeah.
you said, you don't deserve it.
Exactly.
You don't appreciate
Yeah.
it, you don't deserve it. See
Yeah.
ya.
Yeah, bye.
Yep,
You
I
don't get
ain't
the
doing
gift.
this, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, you're losing
I
out
ain't even
here.
doing my thing right now.
That's right, that's
Not
right.
doing any of
I get it.
You
All
know?
right, and the justification? Wait, tell me so far what you got on line 2.
So, first one being doing.
No, not the first one, second one.
Okay, second one,
Yeah.
because
Although, no, I'm sorry, I meant first one here, second one here, and then the because, yeah.
here is what you want.
So the second one here, and then the second because,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
So doing what I have to.
Okay.
Doing the second one.
Mhm.
No F's given.
Okay,
And then justifications,
they don't deserve it,
they don't deserve it.
yeah.
Cause they're big fat meanie heads.
Yeah, got it. If they don't get the gift, I'm sorry, then you lose. All right, last trigger, last thing you avoid. Ooh, interesting energy. I just gotta hit on this, you ready? You avoid showing up. For real. Yeah. Yeah. Go with that one. Yeah. It's almost as, it's really all tied in, it's almost as if because, the wounded part still feels resentful that they didn't immediately embrace and welcome and make him safe. And that's still part of what's running inside. So, yeah, too late, you blew it. I'm not gonna be who I am with you,
Lovely.
you know?
Know that.
So do the because on that one.
Still feel resentment.
Yeah. Buried resentment, actually. Yeah. Got it. And then go to justification.
Stems back to feelings that they don't deserve it.
Let's go further.
But,
Yeah. Yeah, it's in there, but there's something deeper. I want to dig a little. They don't deserve it because
They don't love me.
yeah. They don't recognize me, they don't love me, they don't get me. Yeah. They don't see me. Yeah, all of that. Yeah.
If they do love me, because they're family, they don't get me.
Yeah, they don't get you.
Yeah, they don't see me.
They don't see me
There it is, they don't see me. We'll summarize with that.
all the time. Right there it is. Okay. Very good. Now come up to the middle column, top row, black hole. This is the most wounded judgment that you have about yourself. The most hurtful thing you ever say to yourself, have ever said to yourself that you have in some form or fashion believed to be true about you, that you don't want.
Past or current or present?
All the way through. It's a theme.
Don't belong here.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Very good. All right, now, take this column, all of this information, go to the sixth column page and put it in the column that says old ways. There it is. I think it's the third column over.
Second?
Third one, it says old, oh, wait. Yeah, you're right, yeah. All right. Everybody breathing. And also, let's sip on some water, because we've got some good energy going here. We want to keep hydrated. We want to keep the flow going. All right, you got them all, right? Especially anxious? Okay, circle that one.
Did.
Okay, good, very good. Now let's go to the new skills page, and that will be, it'll just say new skills on the top. There it is. Now, the top row, all the way across, are different skills that you'll learn here. Some you already have, and so just particularly the ones that most resonate with you, put the numbers in this box. If you have questions about any of them, ask.
Number 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Am I too close?
Why?
No. Come closer.
No, you're fine. You're never too close.
Yeah, you can come closer
Want
if
to
you like.
invade your
Yeah.
spaces?
Never.
No. No, you're perfect.
Your energy is not invasive
Yeah, good.
at all. Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So since I haven't.
You learned the
taken
others
them.
yet? Yeah. You'll be learning them and you'll be adding to it, so it's all good. So now go to the next box, square and rectangular, and think about this whole program or any of the classes you've come to here, or workshops, and any place that has felt like a really strong stand inside of you that has come out of anything you've heard or learned or experienced here, like a real sense of a declaration that you feel strongly about, and put it in that box.
Please elaborate.
Okay, so you said, I came this fourth time, and I basically felt muck before, and then I felt clear here. And so, out of that, you realized that this was something you could do. This was your time, right? So there was some kind of a conscious aha. Well, we're not going to ahas yet, but there was a conscious realization that came that this is it, this is my time. So the stand would be along those lines, like, I'm in, you know, I can count on me. Something that's giving you a sense of commitment.
Choosing to play 100%.
There you go. I choose to play. I choose to play at work. Now, I like to translate 100% into wholehearted, and here's why. Because a lot of times when we hear 100%, we almost perceive it as, we overshoot our shot. We almost perceive it like I have to go gung-ho all the time.
Your
Okay.
brother likes to use 100%.
I know. That's why I like to say wholehearted, is I compliment the brother.
So I put a slash
Sometimes-
there.
Sometimes I contradict the brother, but, you know, we work through it.
Covering both Acevittos by putting a slash.
There you go.
Done, done, done.
Acevito, so the female and the male. And so what I realize he always means is, put it all in, right?
Yes,
That's all he's
certainly.
talking about. But a lot of people sometimes misinterpret the 100% to mean I gotta push all the time. So I always wanna
Or
make sure people
perfection.
get that, right? Yeah. So that they don't think that they're doing it wrong if they need to take a moment to breathe,
Yeah.
right? You got it.
I like your asterisks on top of it, yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, now, that box is gonna be when he comes in and gives you his new skill. You're gonna write it there, okay? Because he
Okay.
will. Then down there is the ahas. So any ahas, any like discoveries that you've had in any of the work that you've done with us, so write it there.
Stand up for my truth.
Okay, awesome. That's gonna include showing up, you know.
Yes. But also it's gonna include saying no when it's not in alignment with my truth.
Hello.
Yep.
You know, see, if we can't say our no, we can't say an honest yes.
Yes.
So you gotta actually, and there's ways to say, no, thank you. You can soften it so that it doesn't have to feel like a slam in the face. It's like, nope, not my truth, sorry, I would love to do it for you, but gotta be true to me, you
Right.
know?
Certainly.
Help people to get it. Now take, wait, okay, now let's go to the 6-column page. Oh, I've got to remember.
This one?
Yeah, yeah. And in the new skills, I'm gonna give you a couple of new skills there.
Okay.
Now, this is interesting. So, there was something that came through a little bit ago that I'm trying to bring it back, but while I'm trying to bring it back, I'm getting this, and it's really interesting. It's gonna be totally different than anything you're gonna expect. You ready?
I'm ready.
I would love to see you playing peekaboo in class a lot, and here's why.
I'm down.
Okay,
I like it.
7-year-old.
Drive me with a good time.
Yeah, and 7-year-old needs to, because, you know, I keep going back to, you know, I was the new kid in classes a lot because we moved a lot. Honestly, I don't know why we weren't in the military. I think my dad just, the prejudice, you know, the prejudice got to my dad. Eventually, we had to go find someplace else to see if we could find a safe place, really, basically.
It was that bad.
It was horrible.
We experienced it too, but not that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
we're from also from out of country, we're immigrants too, my parents, you know.
Got it.
Thick
got it.
accents and.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we didn't experience it that bad.
Yeah, it was,
Sorry to
it
hear
was,
that.
yeah, it was sad.
But I can strongly relate.
But it, you know, healing, happy now.
Empowering.
Yeah, yeah, strengthening, right?
Strengthening,
Yeah.
sure.
Honed, you know, when you're pulling the arrow, the bow back,
Yeah.
you know, so the arrow can fly, the further it's pulled back, the further it flies, so all good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know.
Leather skinned.
Yeah, well, not really, because, you know, it's gonna be like soft here. But reality.
Certainly is.
But reality is that it, you know, you get really clear and committed to healing.
Yeah.
It's all good.
This is true.
Yeah, so the peekaboo is for your 7-year-old self who is in those new situations and he's like, you know, trying to make sense of like, well, what are they saying, right? But can feel the impact, because this is all feeling for you, I get it. Wow, that's big energy. Oh, it's almost coming back to the other thing I was gonna give you. There's big energy, what was that? Oh yeah, got it, okay. Anyway, so the peekaboo is for your 7-year-old because he's like going, what what's going on? Who are these people? Why are they throwing darts at me energetically? You know, he's tuned in, he's sensitive, he's aware.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't know what to make of it. So you're gonna be facing some moments in classes where it's like overwhelming. Gary has a
In
lot.
classes?
In the classes, through the program.
Because out there, it's been way more
Yeah, yeah.
overwhelming.
Let me
That-
tell you why.
This one, like.
Yeah, well, it's not
I feel
for the
like this
safety
is
factor.
Safety compared to,
But let
you
me
know.
tell you why. Gary has a huge repertoire of information.
Certainly does.
He loves to give it as much as he can. He
Speaks
does
truth.
100%.
Yes.
And you're gonna get, everybody gets to a point, hear this, everybody gets to a point where it's like, overload, okay, can't take
Right.
any more in. That's what I mean.
Okay.
It's not like harsh. Well, every
Yeah.
once in a while, you know, you'll see, there's a little frustration he'll express. I'm teaching you all right here, right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Better experience
You
what you're
could-
talking about,
You
for
can
sure.
literally say, Gary, I really want to hear you. Could you soften your tone?
Sure.
Please do that for my baby brother. Please, because we are all healing all the time. And we all have our stuff, and every once in a while it shows up and, you know, something triggers, and so we want to support everybody, okay?
You should have
And
my
you
parents
can do
talk,
this.
right?
And you can do this. Yeah, I get it. And you can
Yeah.
do this. You can just, you know, show up for him and say, hey, you know, what you're saying is great, but you know how you're saying it is hurting you. I'd really love you to just kind of soften it a little bit so I can hear it, let it in.
Okay.
You know, help that to be real, okay?
Sounds
So
good.
the 7-year-old is gonna need to be able to feel safe, and you're gonna create that safety by peekaboo. That's gonna be fun for you. Okay, good. And it's also gonna create some playfulness, and it's gonna help other people feel safer too, because, you know, everybody's walking around going, ooh, you know, at times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The other one was, oh, it's so interesting energetically. It's about you showing up as big as you are, which doesn't mean being loud or being.
Certainly.
It means being really.
How about you?
There's an energetic quality that is really, oh, I'm trying to
I
get the
toned down the
words.
volume, and not, I mean volume isn't sound, but just so that, you know.
Right.
I'm used to a lot of,
Right, right.
equal age males
Oh,
being like,
oh,
oh
it's
my
so
gosh,
coming
like,
in, and
you
it's
just-
not coming all the
Yeah,
way through, and I
feel ya.
want it, but it's energetic, and it's really, so Brazil is Portuguese, right?
Yes, speak, yeah.
Okay, which is an interesting blend of energies, because, I had a friend, I knew somebody once that went to Brazil on a mission, not LDS though, something else. It wasn't a mission, it was a student exchange. Energetic, it's really energetic. It's got a the Latin quality, it's got a quality that is a cultural quality. And it's really energetically teaching this culture how to be more heart-connected, because Latin cultures are very heart-connected. And they don't necessarily always get recognized as that being valuable, because the, oh, come on words. The European cultures that are more, Germanic and Viking, you know, those energies.
Nordics, yep.
The Nordics, yeah. They're way more about brute strength, right?
Right.
And they're like, you know, conquer and let's go.
Yeah.
But the
But these are
Latin.
like about spicy and.
Yeah,
and
the Latin
caliente, but-
cultures are all
Strength
about
of love.
love, you
Yeah,
know?
pasión.
Yeah,
La
pasión, that's it,
Yeah.
that's it, passion.
La
Okay,
pasión.
okay, so I
Am I
want
right, la
you.
pasión, not passion?
Yeah, pasión is the word, yeah.
Pasión.
Pasión.
Well, in Portuguese, it's
And-
paixão.
Passion?
Paixão.
Oh, I love that, passion. I love that. So that's what I want you to do, is I want you to practice educating your world, and you'll make it a safe world here, passion, okay? So that you start to reconnect with your blood, and that's where your real power lives.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's gonna be fun.
Right.
I know, woo-hoo.
That's
This is
fast
gonna
talk.
be a hot time. Fun, good time, yeah. All right, let's go to the page that is 2 columns, big fat 2 columns, there it is. Well, nope, sorry, I jumped the gun.
Do we not have 2 columns, big page? Last one, in back here? Yep.
There it is, okay, all right.
There's
now-
Heidi.
Now, what is the dream goal, vision for the program, that goes at the top? And then you know to put it in the, to translate it over to the 6th column, wait, wasn't you, sorry, it was my darling. So, when you write your dream vision goal on the 2 big block pages, you
Mhm.
wanna take that and put it in the 6th column page at the top
Got
there
it.
too. Okay, all right, so what's your big, like, I'm going to accomplish this in this program,
Overall, release my anxiety
okay?
and become in alignment with my abundance.
Good, right. Okay, now, on that column, that box, you're gonna come up with 3 things you're going to practice to do that. So one could be about releasing anxiety, although that will most likely be some of the processing that we teach. However, there might be a practice that you can do that isn't gonna necessarily be processing, could be just a simple practice that you do. And then the other will be about the abundance.
Or something like meditation.
Do you
I
do
daily-
meditation? You do?
daily. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then that's not it, because if you're already
Yeah,
doing it.
sending, grounding, and meditation.
Yeah,
daily.
so that's already in practice, so we need something that's gonna be, taking it to another level.
Something where, instead of going within, it can express more out. Maybe that's the
Okay,
direction
yeah,
we
yeah,
can
yeah,
go
yeah,
into,
yeah, yeah.
So something like an empowerment dialogue.
Well, those will be definitely the processes, but I
Right.
want to practice. So a practice could be something more like,
The connected breath. or something like that?
self-talk.
Okay.
Well, you're naming processes, so.
Self-talk, I'm pretty I really kind of myself, I don't bash myself at all. Again, I also lost judgment of myself
How about
as
this
well.
one? Self-talk to the 7-year-old.
Okay, there we go.
You know, that is reassuring,
Yes.
encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, making sure he feels safe as often as you can.
I like it.
Okay, good.
Should I put that one down?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a
I
good
like that one.
Because when you do self-talk, I can already feel it. It's very, you're very clear and you're very high-minded and very high frequency, but that's not going all the way to him.
Yes, no, it's
So
not.
you gotta talk his language.
Actually, I haven't
Yeah. You-
seen him for a minute.
Yeah, got it. All right, so that's one. Now let's look at abundance. So increasing abundance. And here's what I'm getting is that it's really important, everybody, it's really important that whatever work you do, that you choose, that you do it from a position of getting paid to play.
Yes.
You know, it's gotta be something that's so much fun that you can't wait to go to work.
Right.
You know, so that you enjoy the journey of that, because, you know, how many hours a week are we spending at work, right?
Right,
It's
right.
gotta be something that lights us up. So then, the search or the sifting and sorting or the, you know, finding the,
And I have a
Calling
resentment
in.
with going to work and just paying countless hours, mindless hours to get paid, right? I almost rather like not get paid, 'cause I'll just figure it out, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Because my folks, they were at 16 hours at work every day and in miserable jobs they hated, right? So
Oh,
like,
yeah, no,
they were
no,
never
no.
around, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have so much resentment towards that.
of course, of course.
So that, you know.
So that's not what we're
next to
looking
them,
for.
You know, of
So
course, they're
that's-
like, you know, do whatever it takes just to make money, and I was like, nah,
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
change something in this timeline, this isn't
Exactly,
working out.
yeah, yeah. So do the bounce from the don't want, which is what they were doing.
Yes.
To what is it you do want.
Something that I get paid to play.
Pay to play. So then, but, okay, so that's definitely the goal, and, oh, I just got it. That actually is gonna go over here,
Paid to play?
with the abundance piece, no,
Okay.
in the goals. Read me your goals again.
Release my anxiety and
Mhm.
come into alignment with my abundance, and then I'll add while getting paid to play.
Yeah, good, yeah. Yeah, because that's really a part of that whole abundance thing. So then, in the doingness of that, in a practice, in a, so this part of the, what's it called? System?
Conscious game plan,
Yeah, the game
strategies
plan,
at work.
yeah, the game plan, is about measurable, tangible, pragmatic steps that you can actually see results with.
Certainly.
Okay?
Practices, right?
Yeah, So you want to find a way to revamp your mindset about work so that you are calling in the kinds of work that would be fun, that will pay you well, that will help you be in alignment. And just so you know, they're out there.
Yeah, certainly they are.
It's just a matter of
Certainly.
tapping in and tuning in. And it really is just about changing our mindset.
Only choose work that is, only pursue work that is, in the direction of where I wanna go.
Yeah,
So
but,
like, not be
but,
like, oh,
but
this
that,
job.
but that's down the road. So
Okay.
that's true,
Okay.
that's definitely a part of the steps, but it starts with mind. It's gonna go to mindset, so it's about, mentally reprogramming, practicing mental reprogramming.
I got it.
Okay, what is it?
Continuously remind myself that I deserve
There you go,
such a,
there you go.
like,
Yeah, put that down. And really building that, it's like building an energy grid, right?
yes.
You want to get to the level of belief on that one, that you are absolutely in alignment right there with it all the way through. So I'm doing a lot of Abraham Hicks right now, and it's been really fun.
I love her.
Yeah, me too, so happy right now. And so basically really focusing on being happy all the time, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm at the stage where I really got it yesterday or today, whichever, that, oh, we're talking consistency, like continuity, like not just in and out of happy, you know, and then back to whatever other little energies are going on. No, holding that vibration as a constant, right?
Let me, yeah.
Yeah,
When my vibration is a priority,
yeah, yeah.
which that's a continuation too as well, because that's definitely something I've been,
But take it to the next level, right?
certainly.
Yeah, good, yeah. All right. Now that we've got some of the energetics in place, now we can go to the search for work, the actual physical in the world, you know, search for work. So one of the options might be looking outside of the box, like Googling, what kind of jobs are out? Like, what are your talents? What do you do that you know you have gifts in, that you have talents in?
My skill, like
Yeah.
training skill is as a painter,
Painter?
but I have talent in a whole bunch of things, like I can pick things up quickly. you know.
Yeah, okay. So where are your propensities? Like.
As a leader, it's like, it's
But
a,
in
so I've
terms
hit
of
my career
skills,
path
like
in
work
terms of two
skills.
different directions. So
Mhm.
if you were to read my resume, it would, what you get from that would be, my trade's been a painter,
Okay.
and then,
And you're talking house
and
painting
then
or something, or?
house
business?
residential,
Yeah,
commercial, yeah, commercial, residential, industrial.
Okay,
And then it's also been, in the corporate direction of as a leader or manager
okay.
or trainer.
You know
I'm also
Irving,
skilled
right?
at that.
You've met Irving, but no, he's.
Yeah, yeah, I've met him.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
He is an artist in painting. He's doing other work right now, but you guys are gonna, that would be a really, because you're artistic.
Let me add to that. So what I've been really talented in is painting, you know,
Yeah.
painting, but then also redecorating and remodeling. So like
Yeah, you guys are
redecorating
gonna
and-
hook up. This is
so
gonna be
like,
fun.
I'm really good at revamping environments and.
Yeah, okay,
So we're
that's
still
the
at that.
direction.
Yes.
That's the direction for work. So creating,
That's funny, I just realized that was my purpose, is to revamp. So that's, you just confirmed.
there you
what
go.
I just answered, that's amazing.
Because it really comes down to, okay, for those of us, and I say us because, okay, this is really fun piece of trivia about me. I got fired from every job I ever worked in. Every single one. Except for the first one, I was 14, and back in '64, when you went to a theater, you had an usher or usherette who had
Mhm.
a flashlight, walked you to your chair, to your seat. That was me. So I got to see a lot of movies. It was really fun. But every job after that, fired, every single one. And I worked really hard, and people liked me. And they would keep me as long as they could afford me, but eventually it was really clear, square peg, round hole, not working, you know. I tried all the normal things, secretarial things, and, you know, all of the different directions that women in my era would go get jobs in. Fired. You know, and then add to that the family dynamic where my dad called us losers. So I just felt like a failure. And Gary's was always trying to get me and my brother to get another job because we needed money. We were in debt. We were never able to pay our bills. We were dying. and
Oh,
it
that
never
Latin-
worked.
That Latin scarcity mindset.
Yeah, and it never would work, right?
It's
So
hindering.
one day I realized, oh, I do this thing I'm doing right now kind of naturally. Like
Mhm.
people would come to me and I would be listening and I'd be supporting them. And one day I got it, what, people get paid for this. Duh. So then I started facilitating people.
Yeah.
But I used to charge $50 for a session, no matter how long it took, even if it was 5 hours. And I got real results.
Ah, bingo, I was about to start consulting people on their awakening and getting through their dark night of soul and also, you know.
There you go.
I've been able to do that
There you
recently
go.
and done some.
There you go.
Some big things, so.
And it took a while, it took Gary 3 years to convince me that I needed to raise my prices because honestly, I did great work and I charged barely. I barely could charge. Just so you know, when you hand me money, this is how you have to do it. You have to stand in front of me, no, you don't have to, but this is what I invite. You stand in front of me, and before you hand me money, you let me know how much value I gave you.
Nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't used to be able to accept money, I had to look at the floor, because it was so, I didn't deserve, there was
Okay.
so much of that going on.
Is that still
So
a
I
thing
had to
for you?
learn, oh no, I had to learn that it's okay for me to receive back for what I give, because I give a lot.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, so that's
Yes.
how I receive money now, but I didn't used to know how.
I
And
hear
so it really comes down to finding your soul work. It really comes down to that. You want to be in alignment.
So when I had a drumming recently,
Mhm.
and they're like, you know, your solar plex chakra is got some blockage, and she said, and then you also need to increase your self-worth, and so that
Okay,
goes.
all
getting
aligned.
him
There you go,
with that,
there you
so.
go. It's gonna be a fun year. All right, now you can put all of those in the first column of the 6-column page.
Copy paste.
Mhm. Yeah, perfect. These are so much fun to do. I just love them. I have a good time. Of course, I'm just working on being happy all the time anyway, so it's all good.
It's how it works.
It's how it works. Yeah. You want me to hold the
So
paper?
the key is joy, is that what you're saying?
Hello, hello.
Joy and
Yeah,
gratitude,
yeah,
what?
yeah. Love, 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 love. Yeah. More water.
What would you say you're a facilitator of? What do you?
So the way that I work, because of who I am, so when I first work with a client, first thing is I find out who they are a little bit. I ask questions like, tell me a little bit about your, childhood, your early life, just to get a little bit of a read. And then I tell them a little bit of me so that they have a sense of who I am and why I do this work and how long I've been doing it. And then all along the way, I'm tuning in and listening for where is there a glitchy something? Where is there a stuck place? Where is there a hidden something that they're not even aware of? So I work on the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, the spirit connection, and the earth connection. I work on all those levels. And so then my whole goal is to bring consciousness from wherever they happen to be stuck to their baby step they can take to incrementally increase their ability to be aligned, to be tuned
Okay.
in. So the goal ultimately, in my mind, is that they get to be all here, all in. Ben, got it all?
Got it.
Awesome. All right, now, we can put, to this, I don't even play with that. That's just gonna be the journey of your program. You'll look at that and you'll see all the fun things you wanna do, and you can add to that anytime.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Now go back to the 6-column page. And now we're gonna do the, how often you want to do some of these, or the by when. So we're gonna start with the how often. Now, I always
Self-talk
suggest.
daily.
Yeah, but I always suggest, and
Yes.
here's why, let's say 3 to 5 days a week, and here's why. There's gonna be a week where you don't give a. you
I
don't
like
want-
that too.
Yeah, you don't wanna do anything.
I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you want to give yourself leeway. So you still wanna be in integrity, you wanna be your word.
Certainly.
You have some days off, but you have some options there.
We're still accounting for scrolling, for sure.
Yeah.
3 to 5 days,
Yeah.
a week is perfect.
Yeah. Mhm. And just go right down the list and just lay them all out. While he's writing, I just wanted to let you know, I can go ahead and schedule with you and Zen anytime.
Okay.
We just need to look at, the next few weeks and plan.
What
Did
times
you-
are usually best? for
Yeah,
you?
and you work during the day, correct?
I work during the day, so evenings and weekends.
And
for me.
weekends, okay, so what's realistic time frame for you?
Uh,
And when I don't mean like the moment you get home, I mean when
Yeah,
you
we
kind
have
of
to go
landed, settled.
babysitting situation.
Right, right,
is
right, right.
probably the more
Yeah.
tricky,
Right.
logistic piece.
Yeah, of course.
And sometimes that's maybe like a 7 or 8
That's okay.
o'clock thing, but sometimes like 6 or 5 works
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
so-
anytime between 5
And 8.
and 8, or 5 and, yeah, 5 and 8 if it's a school
Okay.
night.
All right, you got all of those?
Okay.
I'll be back to you, Jen. All right, so tell me what they are for each one.
So self-taught, 7-year-old, could type 3-5 times a week.
Okay?
I deserve to get paid to play twice a week. Holding my vibration,
Now, hold on, twice a week, and that's gonna be basically doing affirmations, right? With telling yourself, I deserve to get paid.
yes, and then also focusing on directions and
Okay,
putting
got
energy
it.
into,
Yeah, got it. All right, good.
That's
All right,
awesome.
got it. Okay.
and then hold my vibration, at a high level is 5 times a week.
Okay?
That one's super important,
Yeah,
vibration,
yeah.
constantly,
Yeah,
work on it.
tuning it.
And then, recreating restructured environments, once a week.
Mhm.
Consulting business, twice a week.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
think put energy into that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds good.
And then increasing my self-worth 5 times a week.
Awesome, okay. Now do the by when you wanna get started, all of those, and you might just wanna start it all at the same time.
Self-taught,
Yeah.
7-year-old, ASAP.
Mhm.
Awesome. And then. And then restructuring environments, that one, 2 weeks.
Okay.
Gotta make sure my vehicle's back to
Mhm.
driving.
Yeah.
Same with consulting business.
Mhm.
Increasing self-worth and ASAP as well.
Mhm. Good, okay. Now, last column is consequences and rewards. So the quit consequence.
Baking.
I love that.
Is that one
Just a
taken?
little throwback to the cute girl there. It was so much fun. That was so much fun. You just lit up here like, oh my
Didn't you though?
God.
Didn't you though?
Opera, I get to go to the opera. It was so much fun. Adorable. Okay, so let's start with the quit consequence. How do you do with consequences versus rewards? So some people.
Much better with rewards versus consequences. I rebel with consequences.
Okay, then
big
we're gonna
time.
go straight to rewards. So let's look for a really great reward that you're gonna give yourself for completing the program.
I got my low, mediums, and high rewards, correct?
Yeah, but
So-
first we're starting with what Gary calls the quit consequence. That's a totally different category. That is if you decide to bail on the program halfway through. So you've got a $500 check on the line and this consequence. But we're gonna do it as a reward so you don't rebel. So instead of saying that if I don't finish the program, I'm going to hell, no, kidding. That was a little bit of comic relief there. What did you say?
I said, been there, done that, got it. Which neighborhood of hell are we?
Yeah, yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Is it the one where they're on their
Yeah.
heads? Anyway, so instead of going that route, we're gonna go for, like, she's going for the reward, she's going for the opera.
Yep.
What would you give yourself for completing the program?
Yep. That sounds to me.
Mhm.
Freaky massage day.
Okay.
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go.
Did you say freaky?
No, oh my God, freaking.
Super
But
freaky.
I like where she's going with that, so I think I'm gonna go with that. I like, that's a way better word. I said freaking, but.
Pasión. He's already starting the
Sure you have
pasión.
Someone's projecting.
Now, I do want to throw a correction out there. Pasión doesn't necessarily mean sexual. It can be passionate about whatever you're doing, right? It could be about a meal, it could be about, a connection, it can be about a lot of things. It doesn't have to go to sexuality.
They get a massage.
But if you give,
100% though.
make a girl a good meal,
That's good. How cute. So just be aware. He starts offering you dinner.
Oh my God. It's like, I'll take it.
Sorry. Can't help myself.
Wow, she just ruined me. Threw the
Dear
rug,
Lord.
pulled the rug out from underneath me.
There you go.
Whole new game plan.
Yeah. Go ahead and do your massage.
Just put
Yeah.
freaky massage.
Yeah.
I like
It doesn't
it.
have to be sexual.
Now, out of curiosity
So
though,
awesome.
I don't think that's big enough.
Where do I write that?
Yeah, I don't think that's big enough. That is a very lovely thing, but that
I
would be.
really meant like a going to
A spa kind of
spa,
thing?
getting a massage from a
Oh, say it
professional.
that way.
Yeah.
Say it that way, spa day with the works.
Freaky
Yeah.
massage.
Yeah,
I thought you meant finding a freak and giving that freak a massage.
There's so many ways to spin
I
this,
can't.
right?
Yeah, it's
There's so many directions this could go, and they're all be rewards.
Wait, hold on. Suggestions, no. Comic relief, yes. Yeah, because I want them to come
Yeah.
from hand.
Vibrations go boo.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
I love it though. I really do. 'cause
Okay,
I mean,
that's
yeah, my
good.
mind to know what direction I'm going, but
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fun. Okay, now, we're gonna go with small, medium, and large.
Okay.
Okay, so then the small would be for, yep, I got this done today, I'm so proud of myself, I get a treat, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And then the medium would be, I did it this week, I did.
Small one, gummy worms, Troy ones is
There you go.
fire.
Gummy worms.
He
I
is,
love-
he's good.
He's really, he's clear.
Yes,
He
he
knows.
is clear, he is clear.
Yeah,
That's-
don't be
that's
messing
good
with
word.
me, cause I got it going on. Okay, then medium is for the week, you did how many times a week you said you would do, even the minimum times a week that you said you did.
A nice long drive for myself.
Yeah, good. Is that gonna be dependent on your car being fixed?
Yeah, I'll get done.
Okay, good.
But this, I mean, like,
Yeah,
the rewards can start right away, like soon after anyway. It'll be
because you've
done.
got incentive now.
Oh, yeah, it'll be done.
Yeah, okay. Now the big one. Oh, and that can be for either a month, I did everything I said I'd get done in a month, so now I get the bigger reward. Yeah.
Freaky massage.
Dinner with somebody.
ending.
I can't help
Dinner with
myself.
somebody.
I'm just going there.
Dinner with
My brain is not.
Blueberry, that's the code word.
Okay, I'm back.
That's the horrible.
I'm back in facilitator
Edit-
mode.
edit that part out.
I'm getting back into the reality of my role.
Are you sure you don't wanna go to dinner, Lauren?
Please.
There's
You
a
know how old I am.
super freaky massage.
It's right next to the super
that
freaky
doesn't
massage
matter.
parlor. Business idea, what?
Right?
Honestly, what did I do? I threw a match on, I threw a match on kindling, right? It's like, oh my gosh, now what? Reel it in.
You know, like strip clubs have their strippers.
We
I have
needed
my
this
super.
all day.
This is what happens on
Okay.
Saturdays.
Oh my God, my blog massage. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That strip club.
Yep.
You can tell
Okay.
I'm in a relationship, but I'm single right now. But that's awesome. I haven't been there for like years.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Thank you for the suggestion.
you're welcome.
That's like a reward. Like I
Is that
never
the
do that.
big reward or is that the medium reward?
It's a
That's-
small
that's-
reward.
No,
like-
no, no.
If I
That's
get
a
a
daily.
high
So
five,
I did it
let's go.
today,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
on
go.
my way.
You throw
Can I get a
splitter.
five? No, it's my very large one.
Okay, good. So that's your
Yep.
big reward?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
All right, now, Cutie Pie, Zola, you had a suggestion. Let's hear it.
Oh,
Now we can hear.
just like the huge stay-in reward, and I don't know if you're, not ready for it or anything.
Let's hear it.
What about a trip to Brazil?
You can't go.
They won't let you.
They'll kill me.
Okay, never mind.
Well, that
We
puts
want
it
you
down.
alive.
Maybe that's
We
a
want you
consequence instead of. Don't work to plan.
Goodbye!
Sorry.
Don't die! That's horrible.
If you walk up to
But
one of
that's
us
a
and
great
say, "I'm going to
suggestion,
Brazil,"
yeah.
Oh, no, what's wrong? What's going on?
But we'll let that go for now, but.
Okay,
Brazilians-
you're never going back to
Wow.
Brazil.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Brazilians put a hit on me over $1 million, cause well over $1 million, cause they feel threatened by me, cause I'm better than them.
Did you actually put something out that they got, went?
Nope. And it's well over $1 million.
How do you
Hence,
know
this
that?
started what?
You
Hence
got-
what started my Dark Night of the Soul and the whole progression. And then I got answers that
Wow.
later. I was just like,
Wow, that's crazy.
what?
so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then stay away from Brazil.
right?
All right.
Unfortunately.
We're gonna call Gary so he can give you your.
You gotta create
Tell
your
Gary,
passion somewhere else.
I know. Well, that's a freaking massage parlor I heard about next to a restaurant somewhere. I just
right?
heard.
Unfortunately, she does not provide services, but.
I delegate.
She delegates.
I'm in charge, I'm the madame.
Are you sure she doesn't?
She's
Yeah.
a super freaky
You
lady.
met? How do you say?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Here
Yeah,
comes
he
the
definitely
brother.
doesn't provide services. I got you back, Lisa.
Yeah. Dolly Parton in it.
I ain't no snitch.
You just said something interesting, you know, a lot of us have concerns about showing up as big as we are, because we don't want the world to, you know, crucify us, blah, blah. And so, yeah, that really resonates with, you know, the.
Wild, huh?
Yeah, that is. So then, we should all just hold an intention that we get to be as big as we came to play and be safe.
I love it.
Yeah, all right, he's ready.
Okay, give me a dream and your old ways.
Always.
Wait, tell him the dream first.
The dream first, okay. So my overall dream is to, the whole,
Yeah,
this
the whole
whole thing,
thing,
right? So
yeah.
it's releasing anxiety and, stepping, how did I write it? Let me go back to how I worded it.
Yeah, and then remember
Fully.
to write it in that 6-column page too. In the new skills one. Oh, no, it's in the,
Yep.
yeah, there it
Yep,
is.
release my anxiety and come into alignment with my abundance while getting paid to play.
Okay. Now the old ways.
And that's in the 6th column.
It sounded really cool when we did it.
Yeah, yeah,
Promise.
it is cool, yeah.
It was way
Yeah.
cool.
Go to the 6th
Sounded
column.
cool.
You just had to be there.
6th column page.
But
Six-
always,
Yeah, 6th column page, 6th column
the
page.
6 column page, this
Yeah.
one here, yeah.
Oh, that, oh. to the-
Old ways being pulling back, frustrations while pulling back, lip service, matching their rudeness, no longer caring, and then the big one, anxiety.
What's that last one?
Stop caring,
Oh,
no longer caring,
yeah,
Kind of shield.
yeah. Or, and then the next one.
which is the big one, anxiety.
Tell me what anxiety looks like. Describe it.
It blinds everything else.
Okay.
Anxiety is like the.
What do you go
my-
through?
It has been what I work through now.
When you're in anxiety, what
Yes.
is it like? What's the
Paint him a
experience?
picture.
What do you feel? What do you think? What do you
Oh,
say?
How do you
God,
behave?
It's blood pressure goes through the roof. Body feels really, really strange.
Well, you don't know your blood pressure, so.
I can feel it though, you know what I'm saying? Does
He-
that make
he
sense?
gets all
The
like,
tension, so, you know,
yeah,
Okay,
tension, I can
tension.
definitely feel my tension, but I can tell because my heart rate is increasing
Yeah,
significantly.
okay, your heart rate increases.
But I can also feel affect my body of like, you know, just
Yeah.
that increased, you know,
Yeah,
pressure, if you will. And then blindness to everything else but getting rid of the anxiety right away because it's so, you know, like this has got to go now because everything else seems to cloud out.
So it
So-
it drives your behavior then?
Whatever does, you know,
Trent,
whatever, remove myself from the
Elisa, do
situation,
me
a
favor,
drug,
get Alice to come back in.
I didn't hear.
Oh, good,
leaving
thank
that
you.
person,
Yes, I
whatever,
love it.
you know? So.
I'm sorry, repeat that, because I was focused someplace else. Go.
So, like, the anxiety kind of blinds everything out and, lets me
Right.
lose focus of where direction I wanna go.
Right.
And just look for that immediate relief of that anxiety.
Right, and do you know what triggers it?
All kinds of things. My energy is what I can boil it down to.
Well,
But go back to the trigger that we came up with that brought it in. Oh, wait, that was one that we didn't. So, yeah, look and see what kinds of things, because there might be a lot of things.
Just
that-
give me
So
an
now
example or two.
Nowadays, my anxiety before was more, you know, self-caused, but nowadays it's more from the outside. And so it's more, you know, like I feel like the more I clear myself from the inside, the more I'm open to the outside, and the more my empathic skills are, you know, increase.
So-
And so with that, the more I feel around too as well. So I'm in environments with people who are toxic, then naturally you start feeling.
What kind of things would they say or do that would trigger it?
It's especially around males my age and stuff, and when they get super envious and jealous, you know. go
And how
somewhere
do they
with it.
behave that lets you?
They
feel-
start tripping.
They start what?
Tripping. You know what I mean?
What
They
does
just-
that mean?
Give them an
It just
example.
means all kinds of
But give them a
non-positive
statement.
behavior that involves nothing but throwing, you know, nastiness at me kind of behavior.
So let me just say one thing about that.
Or straight aggressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was 7 when they came from Brazil. He did not speak an ounce of English, and the effect of being in a school with mean kids
Right.
is basically the thread that goes back. So if he's around men that are,
Starting to be mean in any way.
yeah, acting out their masculinity and their testosterone,
Yeah.
like, but.
No, I'm the one that is rising, and they're the ones that are being threatened by my shining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then they come at you with a certain attitude and tone and behavior that feels toxic to you.
That
It's not,
matches.
it's not equally masculine, because I'm not threatened by that, I actually appreciate that, and I'm like,
No, it's-
finally, someone that will step up, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little sneakery.
That's what we're
You know,
talking
That's what
about.
it is, it's
That's
not,
what
it's
we're
not
talking-
masculine confronting an alpha
No,
male,
no.
alpha male.
It's subtle.
It's no, it's a little sneakering, like, you know, what I mean? It's
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it is, it's rat behavior.
Okay,
That's
all
what,
right.
that's what it
Yeah.
is.
You're
Yeah.
busy basically recreating the early childhood
Yeah, that's what it
stuff.
comes down to, is the original issue was being in a classroom with kids that are being mean, because you're different.
But see, the difference there, though, it was they were bigger. I was a small kid. They were bigger. They were the jocks. I tried to play sport, you know, whatever. Now it's reversed. Now I'm the.
Wait, you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. So-
He's very defensive, no matter what
No,
you
no,
say.
I'm trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. That's all.
Don't say that, actually.
I'm just trying to understand.
That doesn't help, okay? This is a very intuitive person.
I get it.
Yeah, but let me just help you
Yeah.
to help him.
Yeah.
So bottom line, we're talking about the 7-year-old that walked into a classroom for the first time, not speaking the language, and being confronted by meanness. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how big or small they were, just meanness itself. That's the thread,
Sure.
okay? So he's
And
helping
what I was
you
pointing to is that we had a point to make about how you're recreating the same situation.
energetically.
But what you do,
Energetically.
because you're not conscious of how automatically defensive you are, you'll go to the opposite of whatever we're saying to see what the distinction is. And there was a distinction, but you missed the point.
But see, Gary, I wish you would be in the environments of where it happens, because my reaction to it is none. But you ask where my anxiety comes from, that's where it comes from. I
know.
react in no ways. I remove myself from it. I don't even look at them. I don't pay
I-
attention to
I
behavior,
understand
right?
completely.
But if it gets felt in here.
Yeah.
So
I
that's,
understand.
So I'm not, so
I
by saying, to
understand.
say recreating, it's really difficult for me to swallow that, because.
So, if you hadn't been defensive, you would you would understand what we're saying, so
Okay.
understand what we're saying.
I gotta coach you again, because that word is not working for him, so
Yeah,
we
no.
don't wanna use that word, defensive, because it's just not, it's not landing. So here's what it is. It's
No,
energy.
hold on a second. I'm gonna stop this,
Okay.
okay? I'm doing this for a very specific reason, and I
Change your
think-
tone.
I got it. So, what I want you to understand, okay, now do me a favor. Try to say back what we were trying to get across to you.
There's a thread from when you have, this happened when you're 7 years old, connecting to
Yes.
now, and you're recreating your behavior.
Not behavior, it's
I mean, sorry, yep, we're recreating the scenario. 'Cause it-
The
it's like-
scenario.
energetically.
Energetically, that's right. And there
Energetically.
are distinctions between what happened then and what happens now. There's some really important, significant distinctions. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's not recreating.
And I can give him a little bit more information that'll help him get it,
Yeah.
okay? So,
I see the perspective, I do.
you do,
I do.
okay.
I think, depending on the people I'm around, so for example, if I'm around someone like yourself, I'm not gonna feel that, and that would be complete creation. You guys are higher minded, and you guys wish nothing but the best for me, right? And there's no threatening. But when I get around a lot of other individuals who are not open-minded, then it's a whole different ballgame.
I
So
get
if I were
it.
to come in this room and be like, oh, they're jealous, envious of me, oh my God, that's complete creation, that would be, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, Trent's jealous of me, oh, that'd be BS. But in a world,
Yeah.
where they don't have this perspective that we have, it's a real thing. And that's
I
where
get
I'm
it.
struggling with, coming from what he's saying, that you're
I just
creating
got a
it, so
hit
like,
that might help.
ooh,
And
you know, so,
the
but I see where you're going with it,
The
'cause I mean,
value
you
in
create your
what,
own.
the value in what we're trying to say is that once you understand what we're saying, then you'll have real leverage in transforming that scenario so that you don't attract those type of men.
Right, yeah, right. And
And
I will
I-
definitely keep that with mind and keep that approach as I,
Yeah.
face it next time and whatnot.
And I just got a hit on this. It's really an important hit because it was about language. And you did not feel heard, understood, recognized, and that's what's happening here. the reason he got a little defensive was because he did not feel you were here getting him, right? And that's the thread. That's the thread. Anytime you don't feel that somebody's getting you,
Yeah,
then that's where the energy comes up.
that's very much so, yes.
Okay, there it is.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Took a sister. Sorry.
That was awesome.
Can't help it.
That does make sense.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's absolutely true, that hits home.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%, yes.
Yes. So let me look and see what we can do to help you counter that thing. Because really what we want is no matter who you're around, you, first of all, you don't respond to people that are sniping or mean in a way that keeps it going.
Mhm.
And then soon enough, we'll have it so that those people disappear out of your life.
Right.
They don't show up anymore.
Right.
Only these kind of people show up.
Certainly.
Right.
And that's why, you know, like I say, they're on the way out the door, that's something we're working on too as well, but it's all, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're in these workshops, do you ever feel the anxiety?
Absolutely not. As soon as I
Wow.
walk in that door,
That's
know.
amazing.
that I walked in that door the first day, it was,
I got it.
Wow,
Yeah.
thank
that's
God.
awesome.
I walked in here with a bunch of muck,
You
like
know
almost
you're
like
in a
holding me
safe
back,
space.
going like, no, I'm still going, no, I'm still going, as soon as I walked in those doors. The first day I walked in those doors, my first course,
Wow.
relationship success.
Do you
It was like,
meditate?
oh, I'm home, every day.
What kind of meditation? Is it a particular
Guided,
style?
typically 20-minute guided meditation.
By who, what app or what?
YouTube is the general, and there's a ton of stuff on there.
I know,
Yeah.
but is it different ones or the same type of style every day?
Different ones. I'd like to do some from Archangel Michael, which are fantastic, from a channel called Awakening You. And then there's a higher self channel that I listen to, but I even do like Abraham Hicks meditations.
Okay, what kind of grounding do you do?
I, of course, picture light coming in, my favorite color light. Typically go blue and white, coming up top of my head, down the center of my body, down to earth, connecting back, and then I oftentimes go into nature, remove my shoes and socks, and connect to earth, and spend quite a bit of time there. That helps a lot with anxiety, tremendously amount.
Oh,
Because then
the
like
earth
those
is
free
amazing.
electrons and alkalis leave the body, and I feel better. But can I always go in nature and take my shoes off,
Yeah.
especially when it's cold.
Yeah.
In the summertime, do you ever take a nap on the earth?
Oh my God. Daily, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yep,
wow.
yep. So in the wintertime, I'm not the same person I am in the summertime because
Yeah.
that's a big reason.
Yeah,
Oh,
most
yeah.
people don't understand earth energy, so they don't know that when you have an issue going on in your life, take a 20-minute nap on the earth. When you're done,
Beautiful,
you'll be
beautiful.
facilitated, you'll be
Yep.
healed.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
Yes. I think my solution is gonna come with some thinking, so if you wanna revisit that later and
Some
think
what?
about some like, just some real pondering, 'cause I don't think it's gonna be anything short, and be like, do this, you know, I think it's gonna take us,
There's both.
like, it,
The short thing has a real value.
certainly.
And certainly, I mean, when I'm talking to you, I'm seeing not only the stuff you're gonna be doing this year, but the next 4 or 5 years.
Okay,
Like, you're definitely gonna wanna get to the awakening at some point.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just saying, we're gonna give you stuff that's gonna be the next step, so you
I'm
can
with
start
you.
this process of grounding
I like it.
and dealing with those needs.
Yes. Yes. I like it.
Okay. When you're in this group, twice a night, either before the break if there's no guest, or after the break if there's guests, you know what I mean? Like on the break or before the evening starts,
Mhm.
I want you to role play being those mean guys
Whoa.
They're not, the nowadays ones are the ones back in the day.
nowadays.
There's no mean guys nowadays.
Well,
The snippy,
you
the
said,
snippy.
you
Snippy,
said.
Snippy, not
Snippy
mean, not
is-
mean, snippy.
Okay,
Snippy.
well,
Little,
that's
you know,
what I
they're not,
mean
they're
by,
not mean,
that's
they're
what I
just like,
mean by
okay,
mean.
yeah.
Snippy,
Yeah,
whatever
they
word you
actually
wanna
don't- They
call
actually
it.
don't dare be mean to me. They're like, oh, hey, what's up, Will? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's what you wanna do. Matter of fact, I'll have you rotate between today's snippy guys
Mhm.
and the old mean guys.
Okay.
When you're
Okay?
7, yeah.
And you're gonna role play.
Okay.
You're gonna be that way with them, and you're gonna tell them that, I'm gonna do a role play, like Danielle will know, cause she's in your group, and Zola will know, cause she's in your group. You know, I'm doing my new skill of role playing the mean guys or the snippy guys, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
sure.
Okay? And you're gonna slightly exaggerate what they're doing.
Okay, I like
Okay?
it.
And then you're gonna ask yourself, what scares me or what hurts me?
Okay.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I like it.
He's pretty good sometimes.
Huh.
It takes a brother.
It takes a brother.
It takes a brother. Oh, man. He's like, can't get that vibe.
That was awesome.
Do me a favor, I want you to start keeping a journal
Okay.
and write down any time out in the world that you feel anxious.
Mhm.
And I want you to write down, what did whoever do or say that
Mm.
started the trigger?
Or what environment was I in is a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah, in other words, what triggered it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I have not had one speck of anxiety in this room for
Of
the entire
course,
time I've known you.
because subconsciously, you know, this is a safe space.
Yeah.
And consciously, you guys created a safe space, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And out in the
consciously, you're
world-
only sending me love and empowerment, and out in the world is a different story.
And we're gonna teach you how to translate this to that.
Yeah.
Sure, certainly. I
What
like
will-
it.
What will life be like without anxiety, huh?
We don't have enough time tonight.
Yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
second.
Exactly.
We don't have enough time.
Pretty exciting. Can I just say what I thought was brilliant about what you said
Mhm.
about so when you're practicing the snippy or the mean children,
Okay.
and then you tune into what was scaring me or
I
hurting
guess
me?
I'm gonna have an aha moment and see a correlation.
Yeah.
Which
It's
then
gonna
see
be-
so what I'm
What
this
I-
is created.
Go ahead.
What I got that was brilliant is that you're actually tapping into what's going on in them.
Yeah.
That is, you know how in Abraham Hicks, it's, well, so many of the different modalities we work with, it's all a mirror,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
So they're seeing something in you that it
Yes,
triggers, right?
yes.
So then they get scared or they get hurt or whatever, something, and then they're doing that at you, and so you're tapping into what's going on in them, which brings up, instead of the anxiety, the compassion for that whole scenario, that behavior.
So peeking in what you're, like, picking up what you're dishing out, and no one's to do the exercise, I'll say aha for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the other part of that is
Yeah.
that as he
Awesome.
tunes into what they're going through,
Yeah,
simply by tuning into what they're going through,
yeah.
he's gonna feel heard.
Oh, yes. I
I like
love
it.
this work.
I'll be out of here like in an hour and be like walking, and be like, ah!
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
get down
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
getting it, oh, yeah.
And
It's not even whenever I
eventually,
leave here,
and
it's
soon
download.
enough,
So cool.
you'll be out there with the snippy guys, and they'll do something like that, and because you now
Mm.
don't react,
Mm.
then you're gonna be asking them questions that will not only
Diffuse them.
diffuse them and
Yeah.
get them aware,
Yeah,
but will get it so they now step into being nice with you.
there's your gold right there.
It's the healing that we pass on, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah.
Love it.
In essence, you'll wake them up and bring
Yeah,
them to
yeah.
consciousness.
There it is.
There it is.
Perfect. Perfect.
I just have to say, this was a pure pleasure for me.
Yeah.
Me
You
too.
are absolutely, I had no idea who you were, because I've only seen you. We haven't actually dialogued yet. I mean, a little bit, but not enough, right? Boy, am I blown away. I'm blown away by not only who you are today, but who I get you came to be, that you're stepping into owning and delivering. I'm pretty thrilled.
I appreciate that, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the reason it's an honor to coach you is because when people who recognize you see what a huge spirit you
Yeah.
are,
Amazing.
then they see what a little bit of coaching could do for the
Yeah.
world.
Oh, it's so big, so real.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is fun. We're done.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, we completed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Big squeeze.
Absolutely.
Oh, love,
Real
love,
pleasure.
love, love, love. Lots of love. So when you pay me, remember how you do it.
It's the.
Value, value, value. Yeah, okay. All right. But
How's
not
he
yet.
paying you?
No.
So the way, okay,
So-
let me just say this. So how I have people pay me, because I used to not be able to take money and feel deserving, and you actually did it without realizing it yesterday. I just have them look me in the eye and let me know how much value I just gave them before they hand me money.
Remember how I was like, was that still a thing for you? And you said absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's where I was confused. I was wondering if that's how you still.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
the
okay.
not, the thing that's not anymore is the not deserving. The value is
Yeah.
like just filling up my cup.
Yeah. Well, you gave me tremendous value. It was a wonderful experience. Absolutely lovely.
Now you can give me money.
Huh?
Lori's got it worked out for you, okay?
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, sweetheart.
My
Love you.
pleasure. Thank
It
you.
was delightful.
She goes,
Everybody-
"Nah, give me money."
Yeah. Now that
Making it rain.
now that I received
I would make
that.
it rain for you, girl. You did awesome.
That's great. That was fun. Woo!
So Alice, just let me know, did anybody support him on his post-dated or quit checks? So that whole list that's in his second requirements needs to be followed up on. And we don't wanna this is supposed to be done before the
Right.
interview, so let's make sure he doesn't leave the room today without getting support on that. Otherwise, it's just gonna make Trent's job harder.
Okay, what?
I want her to make sure that all the stuff that's in your part 2 of the requirements, like the post-dated checks, the quit check, all that stuff is handled, because it was supposed to be done before the interview. So you just need to do that before you leave. Okay? And did he initial all the stuff that's in the packet?
I still have to sign initial.
Okay.
In the packet right now.
Okay, one last assignment before I do the love stuff. Lori's orientation to level 1 is this Saturday,
Yep.
right?
A week from yesterday. A week from today.
A week from today, this
Yeah.
coming Saturday,
Yeah.
okay? And all of you are welcome to come if you want to. Sue, I would strongly recommend that you do that orientation so you can see if it's something you can, start by dipping your foot into, that kind of thing.
Can I say a little bit about?
Is
Yeah.
it different,
I'll be laser.
is that different from what you did the other night when I was here?
It's always different because I'm always channeling. Let's
So give her a
read-
flyer or anybody?
Yeah, it's right on the back table.
Okay.
Actually, take the flyer. Is that the colored ones?
Black
Yeah.
one, white one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I have one of those.
you already have some. I gave it to you.
Oh, I actually got one of these.
Oh, I don't recall.
Not that one.
They got one?
Yeah, not that one.
I got
Not this
one.
Yeah.
I got this one. I
Zero
got one
on
of
this
these.
one.
The color
that one.
writing one.
Oh, the color
So,
writing.
yeah, it's right to the left of it.
I was gonna do about color.
Oh, wait, maybe it's not. It's at the far end. Far
No.
left. There it is, that
There
one.
we go.
Yeah. So I just want to say, it's a free day of value. It's a workshop that you get to come and get filled up. And so I'm still enrolling into my program so that I can actually create my program. And the reality is invite anybody that you've ever wanted to know about this inner work so they can come get some free value. And so I always do different things because essentially I'm basically tuning into the group and what do they need. So it'll be fabulous. So come if you can, bring anybody that you can, so that everybody that you know gets a taste of what inner work can be, okay? All right.
I need barbecue potato chips.
Gary, I have some.
Just one, thank you.
Plus, it's more fun with me.
It takes a sister.
That's gonna stick.
I know.
Just in case you need another dose of the short Mexican.
Which barbecue potato chips am I eating? Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Gary.
Okay. All we got left is the love stuff. So in a
Oh,
moment,
oh.
Alice is gonna put on nonverbal love. And I'm gonna have you stand up and go from person to person. Say your goodbyes, your thank yous, and your I love yous without any words, without any whispering. Less is more for the first 2 songs. When you're done with the first 2 songs, you can say your goodbyes in any way, shape, or form. Okay? I'm really proud of you that you stuck through Leo's interview, even though I know I can tell from your faces some of you are pretty tired. And I want to warn you that you're actually more tired than you know. You really don't know how tired you are, because inner work is incredibly exhausting. It's like you've just run a marathon emotionally. So please do your best to get some sleep tonight. Take care of your body, do whatever supplements or things you do so that you really get rested and take care of your body. Because if you don't take care of your body in the next few days, you're gonna be like, you ever try to babysit a 2-year-old that needs a nap? That's what you're gonna be like, you know what I mean?
I noticed this yesterday.
Take care of your body, okay? Okay. Have a great night, everybody. I'm glad that we're getting out early for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Love stuff.
We're going to dinner anywhere, Gary?
Huh? I'm not going, you guys can if you want to. Alice?
I got you first.
Nonverbal love.
I thought we could do it.
Oh, can we?
Oh, my!
We get to talk until she plays the music. That's the rule with the love stuff.
Yeah, to me, that's the love.
Love. Wait, the song didn't start.
I know. We're getting jump on it.
Warming up. Danielle's like sway down there.
Is this a super freaky hug?
No, Leo's not in it.
Oh.
As soon as Leo joins, now it's gonna get super freaky.
freakiness.
Now it's super freaky.
Now we're freaky.
Oh, it's double freaky.
Never said no singing.
So much
No, only when the
freakiness.
song starts, but.
Yeah, he hasn't played the song yet, so
That's
technically
right.
we can still talk.
I'm gonna.
You're just kinda looking me in the eyes.
We need some kind of happy ending.
Or
I guess I'm alone in that.
No, you're not. Just shout out, Blueberry!
What?
No, it's a close
Music
word.
started.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when that day comes and I find myself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all I would do is forever, forever worship you. I can only imagine, yeah. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still? Will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah?
Just stuff them in my underwear.
Able to speak at all, I can only imagine. Yeah, I can only imagine.
once wrong. Regret it.
this, and I'm like, cool. Oh my gosh. It was very cool. Like, oh,